Live from the Cooper Tire Broadcast Center in Sonoma, California, this is the EKN Radio Network. Oh, it's a beautiful day here, ladies and gentlemen. Sonoma, California, and Easley. What is one of the most beautiful views that you will see when you're at a karting event. Always gorgeous to be here at Sim Raceway Performance Karting Center in Sonoma, California. It is the final round. Final round of the Challenge of the Americas. Kicked the season off in Phoenix. Headed to Southern California to Cal Speed Karting. Now we find ourselves here up in Sonoma. Championships are on the line. Again, my name's Rob Howden. Welcome to the EKN Radio Network. And what will be a weekend's worth of coverage here on our EKN Trackside Live program. Got a bunch of guests lined up to join us here today. We are inside the timing and scoring office building, right along the front straightaway here at Sonoma. Beautiful racetrack. We're going to run in the counterclockwise national reverse direction, 12 corners, including the famed tic-tac-toe. Again, David Cole, Rob Howden with you. Happy hour here on the EKN Radio Network. A big welcome to those of you who have tuned in throughout the country and around the world. Let you know that we will be launching the new EKN Radio Network app very soon. You'll be able to just click on that app and be good to go and listening to the entire EKN Radio Network. Again, the first ever 24/7, 365 radio network with nothing but karting content. A lot of great new podcasts we've been working on over the last couple of years to get things rolling. In fact, the last 6 months we've launched 3 or 4 new ones. We've got a couple more we're dialing in. It's going to be a great lineup of content on the EKN Radio Network in the coming months and through this 2018 season. Challenge of the Americas got underway back in January. Of course, this incredible West Coast Winter Series has done a fantastic job in terms of dialing drivers in for the national season, getting the new campaign underway. Over the years, though, sending some very talented drivers to international competitions as well. During the first 10 years of this program, it was all Rotax Max, and so many times this Challenge of the Americas adding great drivers to both Team USA and Team Canada. But again, a rebirth of sorts in 2018, the 11th season, as it's a Rock Cup program now. Of course, Rock, kind of one of the new players on the national, regional, and club scene here in North American karting. Florida Winter Tour, now Rock Cup program, as is this Challenge of the Americas. It's been a great start to the season here in 2018, and of course we're now mid-April here at Sonoma and ready for the final 2 rounds, rounds 5 and 6 of this championship. And indeed, we talked about drivers being sent to Team USA, Team Canada to run in the Rotax International Grand Finals. Well, this year, it's all about the Rock Cup International Final, that tremendous event, the annual race that happens in South Garda every November. Make that October. I've had a chance to be at that event on a number of occasions. Did some play-by-play there as well alongside Yannick Sturzel from T-Kart Magazine, and we had a great time when we were there. Just an amazing event, and there's going to be a number of drivers here from this particular weekend, this series, who will find themselves running in the international final at South Garda this October. On to the racetrack now as we're into our final session. It's called the pre-qualifying time practice here in the Challenge of the Americas. Earlier in the day, the drivers going through 2 sessions of practice, 8 minutes apiece. Just before the lunch break, we did a 12-minute no hot pit session. Did the same after the lunch as well, 12 minutes, no hot pit. This is where things start to get fun. The pre-qualifying timed practice, a 20-minute session, but it is open hot pit. That will allow the drivers to come off the racetrack, meet their mechanics here on pit lane, make adjustments if they want. They can go to work on tire pressure. Of course, if they can get it done quick enough, make some setup adjustments to the chassis as well. Just a lot of opportunity to just do that last little fine-tuning to get things dialed in before, of course, we head into 2 full days of competition. Morning warm-up beginning tomorrow at 8 a.m. Drivers meeting set for 9:15. Qualifying will go at 10 a.m. We'll have a half-an-hour lunch break from 11:30 to 12 o'clock. pre-mains, 17 lappers for the primary categories, 13 laps for Mini Rock and Micro Rock. And, of course, LO206 getting their first heat race in the books as they will run 2 heat races tomorrow, one on Sunday and then the main event on Sunday afternoon. And then main events for the primary Rock Cup classes, 25 laps the distance for the main classes and 18 laps for both Mini Rock and Micro Rock. And again, Sunday should be exciting as the championships, as they always do, will come down to the final day of competition. Let's have a look at live timing here right now as we are just about, I want to say, about 6 minutes into this session. Again, a 20-minute extended session here, pre-qualifying time practice. Hot pit now open. We've had a couple takers to come in here quickly to make some adjustments. Nikki Hayes on top right now in the number 511. Sitting now second, Alex Keys. In third, Hunter Pickett. Fourth, Zach Pedinici. And in the fifth spot, Cabot Bingham. Looking at the championship, 3 drivers really still in the hunt for this title. Alex Keys leads the way now, just 20 points ahead of Cole Bailey in the number 586. Keys the 547. Keys on the Burrell. Bailey on the Praga. Nikki Hayes on the Ricardo. Nikki Hayes back by about 74 points in total. But again, that's not counting the drop. So there will be a drop. Right now, the lowest total for Alex Keys, I believe, a 91 point from round number 2 in the program. Indeed. Let's have a look at Cole Bailey. His drop race now would be a 90 from round number 4 at Cal Speed. And Nikki Hayes, his drop will be a 50. So Hayes with a big drop. If you look at that, 50-point drop for Hayes and a 91-point drop for Alex Keys. Cut that down by 41 points. So really only about 30, maybe 33 points back, Nikki Hayes right now from the leader when you consider the drops that will roll out here before this is all said and done. Rock Shifter Masters drivers on track as well. Nick Firestone leading the way in the points. He's only 8 points ahead of Calvin Chen. Rob Kozakowski in the number 670, back by about 95 points. He's not out of it yet either as they run on the racetrack right now in the Masters category. Kevin Woods with the quickest time. Patrick O'Neill in second spot. Jeff Smith here running this weekend in third. Calvin Chen in fourth. And Michael Gouache actually rounding out the top 5. Zoli Sewell here as well. Tom Fallon. Rob Kozakowski, as I mentioned. Nick Firestone. A good field of drivers in the Masters class here this weekend. As I look out on track, I'm going to say maybe a handful of carts still on the racetrack. Maybe 5, maybe 6. Number of them have pulled down pit lane here to go to work. Number 525, Enzo Prevo into pit lane. Mamo Gidley going to work on the car there. Good to see Mamo here this weekend as we do on a regular everyday basis here at Sonoma. But Mamo also getting ready to go back sports car racing. That was exciting to hear that he'll be back in an LMP1 car. And again, great to see him back behind the wheel. Michael Gouache in his Formula K getting ready to roll out. Currently in the 4th spot. Number 691, P4 in the Rock Masters class. Shifter Masters. Fast lap right now, Nikki Hayes up top, 48.087. So again, welcome to the happy hour here on the EKN Radio Network. This weekend's broadcast being brought to you by Briggs & Stratton, Rock Cup USA, and K1 Race Gear. We welcome you to go on to Facebook, Twitter, you name it. Give us a tweet. Let people know that you're listening live here. ekartingnews.com/live. On your mobile device, you can just go to ekartingnews.com on your browser or download the Mixler app, mixler.com. Look for eKarting News on there, and you'll get a full link up to do the play-by-play through that online option. Again, Keys, Bailey, and Hayes, top 3 drivers in the championship in the Rock Senior category. Firestone, Chen, and Kozakowski getting ready to take a run at the Masters Rock Shifter class, that championship, which will be decided on Sunday. Coming around to the halfway point here, Cameron Karting, the sponsor of our Rock Shifter class. Full Throttle Karting, the sponsor of the Shifter Master category. And once again, Nikki Hayes on top. Fast time so far. Let's start actually looking at some lap times. 47.980 for Nikki Hayes, 48.005 for Alex Keys. So the gap just 0.02 of a second between first and second now. Hunter Pickett lays his fast lap down on lap number 7, 48.242. 48-2-4-2. So it's Hayes up top, Keys in second, Pickett in third, Zach Petanici in the fourth position, Cabot Bingham in fifth, sixth is Enzo Prevost, seventh is Kevin Woods. Woods, the quickest driver thus far in the Masters class, in seventh, 48.702, 7/10 back. Patrick O'Neill in eighth, Cole Bailey ninth, and Clinton Scooby rounding out the top 10. So, again, this is the happy hour here on the EKN Radio Network, day number 1 of 3 that we'll have live here from Sonoma, California. And, of course, the finale weekend here in the Challenge of the Americas. Getting a chance to talk to Andy Saisman, the promoter from FTK Promotions. Andy, a big year. You and I have talked at all 3 of the venues in terms of the fact that it was a kind of a rebuilding year for you guys, a year of rebirth. You go from 10 years of great commitment and some fantastic racing in the Rotax Max program. And this year we launched with something new. Essentially start with a clean sheet of paper, if you will, having to build a program from the ground up where there really isn't anything. There's a lot of guys with rock engines, rock power plants in Florida. Florida Winter Tour was able to have that kind of momentum coming in. For you, really coming from an absolute, say ground zero, getting started in this new season.
For sure, Rob. Obviously, yeah, we had a big year. This past 2017 when the series ended last year, changing over a complete rebirth, as you mentioned, and for sure it's definitely a challenge. It's a new challenge, and it's been great. I mean, it's met or exceeded all my expectations. I mean, I gave you my goals as far as numbers throughout the season, and we pretty much nailed those. Right to a T. I mean, we've really had no drop off. I mean, we've been within 3 or 4 entries the entire series.
Yeah.
I mean, start with 85 and then 91, then 86 here. So it's been very, very consistent. The huge bright spot is that the rock participation in the series, if I pull out the LO206 numbers, rock has increased 25% from race 1 to race 3. From weekend 1 to weekend 3.
Interesting. And again, that's kind of the momentum we figured we were going to see. There's growth in Southern California, number 1, with the Tri-C Club. There's growth up here as well, here at Sonoma with Rock Sonoma. I think we probably would have liked to have had, maybe I would have wished for some more local participation here this weekend. But again, that's all about the momentum that will continue to grow. When this series has 150 guys here for the finale, the locals are going to want to come out and play for sure.
Oh, for sure. Numbers bring numbers. I mean, we say that all the time, right? There's this critical number it hits. The minute we start next year and we cross over triple digits, it'll go from 100 to 130, 140 almost instantly because that 100 number is the critical number.
And when we talk about trying to go 10% growth, when you start with 70, your 10% growth is 7 drivers. When you have 120, that's 12.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, it's 120 to 132 to 150. That's the growth when you get that 10%. We'll come back after and talk about this particular weekend. But what does 2018 look like for you right now? Obviously, you spend a lot of your time throughout the season and this past year really working hard to develop this program to really make sure there was teams here and there was going to be drivers here and you're going to have people with rental prep packages, whatever it was, to get people at this event, this series. You've got that groundswell now. You've got kind of that foundation. You've laid some roots. What do you do for the rest of the season? I know you've got full throttle karting. You're going to be doing more stuff with Rock?
Oh, for sure. I mean, obviously, we support the Tri-C Club at home, so we'll continue to focus on that, their monthly series where we've – it's a true club. We've blended the programs. It's a tag program, so we bring in Rock into their tag program all the way from micro to masters to shifter, which has been great. Obviously, we have the Rock festivals this year. I mean, I'm going to try to get to at least NOLA. It just depends. We had some conversations with some guys that may want to get there, and then obviously end the year with Rock the Rio. I mean, that's as far as the races go. Those will be the prime focus. And then, from the distribution, from the shop standpoint, from Rock in general, obviously the announcement of the new VLR 100, the 100cc engine, that's going to be another focus at home. It's because it's a great, middle price point between LO206 and the GP to get some more new blood in the sport.
Interesting to watching some of the other programs around the country. We're obviously here for the Challenge of the Americas, but for a series like the F Series, which really is still embracing the tag program. They're offering what we had for however many years, 6, 7, 8, 9 years, where we had tag. That was what we ran at the national level. It was Leopards and Rocks and Moturis and whatever it may be. There are still some series that aren't as connected, Rock Cup or Supercarts USA being connected directly to one engine manufacturer, where that's what they're doing. It's going to be a tag program. I believe they're going to do that potentially up at the Can-Am as well, where it's going to be a tag deal for the senior drivers. Is that something you see as maybe being key in certain areas to kind of solidify the different engine packages that we have available these days?
Absolutely, especially as at a more local level, maybe the light regional level for sure. That's definitely the direction it has to go. I mean, you can't expect a local level racer to throw away their existing package, whether it be X, Y, or Z, and buy something. You have to blend them in, get them in the fold, and then let the best package win, or at least let them all race together.
Yeah, even if it's just at the club level, even if you just stay with that tag program, it's not like it's something that's absolutely totally broken. There was an issue on the national level when you talk about the people being so close and trying to get that equal playing field, equalize all the engines was kind of tough. But it's all about being inclusive, not exclusive, especially at the club level, as you said, the mid-regional level, where, hey, if you got an engine, come out and play. We'll put you in the tag junior, tag senior class, and here's your weight, and let's go racing again. We kind of jettisoned that tag program because it got a little confusing. Not confusing. It got maybe even a little cost prohibitive in terms of having to constantly test the engines to make sure everybody was so close. But club and regionally, I think the tag program still works really well.
I agree 100%. 100%. At this level or the SCUSA level we've talked about, absolutely you have to narrow that focus with the engine platform. But at the more local level, you have to be as inclusive as possible. I mean, that's this sport does a great job of chasing people away, so we need to correct that.
True enough. Let's talk a little bit about the Challenge of the Americas and what you've seen here this year. On track now, with about 2 minutes to go, is the drivers in the Cameron karting shifter rock class and the master shifter rock class. Nikki Hayes and Alex Keys, P1, P2 right now. These drivers battling for a championship, separated by 25 thousandths of a second on the racetrack. Now, would you? For me, I think this has been the most competitive and the most compelling category we've seen here this year. To have Nikki win and Alex, of course, sweep at Cal Speed, and then also to have Cole Bailey score a victory as well. 3 guys have won in the 4 races, and man, they've been so tight and so close.
Yeah, I would say for sure this category and probably Mini Rock have been the two that have had the most the deepest competitive field. Obviously, we knew we weren't going to start with 40 kart fields. I mean, couldn't we get there, in a year or two? Absolutely. I think the momentum and the growth is there. But for right now, yeah, I'm very, very happy with the shifter program, the Mini Rock program. I mean, those are definitely 2 proven packages. I mean, both of those packages have been around for quite some time and are pretty familiar. I mean, for most people, Mini Rock's been around forever, 10 years.
Yeah.
The shifter package as well, the Rock shifter's been around for at least 5 years in Florida, just hadn't quite made it over on this side of the world yet. But I think, the challenge with people worrying about the ICC-ness of it, when we went through our ICC experiment 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But this is a completely different animal. It's I won't say it's detuned, but it's certainly not as knife edge on the tuning and the performance as an ICC. So, I mean, guys are getting, time on pistons and clutches, and it's been a great, solid package.
And I think it's almost like it was a learning curve. We jumped out of the the monster built Moto Hondas, and that threw us into the ICC program because everybody was looking for whatever the answer was, whatever the change we were going to do, something different. And of course, we were sold the bill of goods that the ICC was going to be this out of the box engine. Of course, that's not going to happen. As you said, it gets built to the knife edge, and then things start getting expensive again. This engine seems to be a really solid package. Everybody I've talked to likes it. It is a little detuned. It's not that screaming out, you're on the edge kind of ICC, KZ kind of deal. but it's been, like you said, they're getting a lot of time on the engine, and that's going to give us some affordable racing and some great racing, and people are able to bang gears, which many people want to do.
Absolutely. There's still, there's always going to be a place for that.
Yeah.
I mean, we were around, you and I, a long time ago when, we would see shifter kart fields of 60, 80. I remember one year there was 100 guys in S2 or something, right? It's just not like that anymore, but there's still a segment of our sport that likes that part of it, likes to bang gears, and this engine is definitely giving them an opportunity to come and enjoy themselves.
Let's have a little rundown here as we're just wrapping things up. I believe the checkered flag is flown to end this session. I'll give you a rundown of what we have here in the categories, then we'll come back and talk to Andy Staesman after a quick break. Nicky Hayes on top, fastest driver, a 47.980. The only driver into the 47s, 25 thousandths of a second quicker than Alex Keys. Hunter Pickett on the Aluminos number 536 goes P3. Cole Bailey able to work his way up to fourth position, 4/10 of a second back, so Cole needs to do just a little bit of work. Zach Pedinici's been very impressive here this year as well. In the number 570, he sits in fifth. Cabot Bingham in the sixth spot. Enzo Prevost in seventh. Quickest driver in the Masters class, 8th overall, Kevin Woods. Right behind him, another Masters driver, Patrick O'Neill in 9th. 10th is Clinton Scooby. 11th, 3rd overall in the Masters class is Nick Firestone. 12th, Calvin Chen. 13th, Jeff Smith. 14th, Michael Gouache. And 15th, John Nielsen. That caps off our pre-qualifying time practice session for drivers in our Rock Shifter and Rock Shifter Masters classes. We have 6 sessions this afternoon here at these open hot pit 20-minute sessions. 1 down, 5 to go. Stick with us. More to come here on the EKN Radio Network. You're listening to the final round of the Challenge of the Americas, live from Sim Raceway Performance Karting Center in Sonoma, California, on the EKN Radio Network.
For over a century, Briggs & Stratton has had a commitment and passion for racing. It's a DNA found in every engine we build today. So whether you kart race, Baja, race quarter midgets, or believe that dirt and snow are just God's way of adding to the challenge, the dedicated spirit of every Briggs & Stratton employee stands at the fence waiting for the green flag to drop. Briggs & Stratton Racing. What powers you?
eKartingNews.com fans love handling and performance, and the all-season high-performance Cooper Xeon RS3 G1 delivers both. The Cooper Xeon RS3 G1 is an exciting new all-season high-performance tire designed to look great and perform even better. It offers stability, control, and exceptional grip and traction in wet or dry conditions. Visit us online at CooperTire.com for more information, or see a Cooper Tire dealer near you for details on the Cooper Xeon RS3 G1.
The Rock Cup USA Kart Racing Series is a division of the internationally recognized Rock Cup racing program powered by the Vortex engine package. The program promotes parity within the classes, and the parent series, Rock Cup, is an FIA-authorized international series with a 15-year history in over 32 different countries. Powered by the Vortex engine platform, Rock Cup USA offers a competitive racing package throughout its promoted series, including the Florida Winter Tour, Rock Festivals, Rock the Rio, Challenge of the Americas, and a flourishing regional club program throughout the United States and multiple Canadian series. All the best rockers from around the world have the opportunity to take part in the prestigious Rock Cup International Final, an international event that crowns global rock champions. In 2017, the Rock Cup International Final had a record number of countries represented, 49 from 5 continents, and saw 415 rockers take to the grid. Rock Cup International Final tickets will be awarded at the Florida Winter Tour, Challenge of the Americas, and the Rock Festival. For more information on Rock Cup USA, please visit www.rockcupusa.com.
Since 2003, K1 Race Gear has been a one-stop shop for all your indoor and outdoor karting needs. From racing shoes, suits, and driving gloves to chest protectors, rib vests, accessories, and bags, K1 Race Gear provides quality karting products for the enthusiast and the professional alike. We have an incredible lineup of K1 karting suits designed to fit everyone's budget.
Check out our entry-level GK2, the new Apex 2, and our top-of-the-line Speed 1 suit. Then, choose from our Apex and RS1 karting gloves and add in our K1 shoes, rib protectors, and neck collars. If you need a custom suit to support your sponsors, we can create a custom look as unique as you are. As you would expect, our custom suits are made to order. With pricing as low as $495, you're sure to find a suit that not only satisfies your racing needs, but is easy on the wallet as well. We take care of all of our customers at K1 Race Gear, not just the ones with deep pockets. Visit K1RaceGear.com today and get everything you need for your next racing season. If your dream is IndyCar, set your sights on the Mazda Road to Indy presented by Cooper Tires. The first step of the ladder system is the Cooper Tires USF 2000 Championship powered by Mazda, which prepares young drivers for the calculated jump to the Pro Mazda Championship presented by Cooper Tires, where increased power, grip, and aero downforce fast-track your training. The final rung is the Indy Lights presented by Cooper Tires program. The last 4 Indy Lights champions will be racing in the Verizon IndyCar Series this year, so it's a proven formula. At all 3 levels, you will race at premier venues on the same weekends as IndyCar. Showcase your skills under the watchful eyes of IndyCar scouts and owners. Former karters fill the roster of Mazda Road to Indy graduates like Spencer Pigot, Gabby Chavez, Zach Veach, Ed Jones, and 2017 Indy Lights champion Kyle Kaiser. Recent karting graduates like Oliver Askew are in the middle of their journeys as well. Follow in their footsteps. Fulfill your dream. If you want to race IndyCar, there is only one choice. The Mazda Road to Indy, presented by Cooper Tires.
After taking on the highly anticipated Florida Winter Tour, remaining promoted events by Rock Cup USA include the Rock Festivals and Rock the Rio event. In May, join us at the NOLA Rock Festival at NOLA Motorsports Park in Avondale, Louisiana. It's set for May 17th through 20th. The NOLA Festival will see the Rockers take to one of the best facilities in the country and undoubtedly a race favorite. The second Rock Festival will be at Oakland Valley Raceway Park in Cuddybackville, New York, and will take place July 19th through the 22nd. Full podiums at both events will receive Rock the Rio entry, while race winners at the OVRP Festival will also receive coveted Rock International Finals tickets, provided they participated in both festivals. The crown jewel of the 2018 schedule will see the Rockers from around the world descend on the fabulous city of Las Vegas at the Rio All-Suite Casino and Hotel. The first annual Rock the Rio event will award upwards of $35,000 in cash over the 7 Rock classes. For more information on all Rock Cup USA promoted events, please visit www.rockcupusa.com.
Now back to turn-by-turn coverage of the Challenge of the Americas finale, live from the Cooper Tire Broadcast Center at the Sim Raceway Performance Karting Center, brought to you by Rock Cup USA, Briggs & Stratton, and K1 Race Gear.
Engines fired once again as the Ruthless Karting Junior Rock drivers take to the track for their final session of the day. Again, pre-qualifying time practice here at the final rounds of the Challenge of the Americas. A gorgeous day here in Sonoma, California. And if you've ever been to this venue, just probably the most picturesque backdrop you'll find in North American karting. Just this gorgeous view down over the valley. The track kind of slopes away from us here. Just a fantastic place to come racing. Again, my name is Rob Howden, joined by David Cole. Andy Saisman joining me here in the Cooper Tire Broadcast Center as well as we discuss the Challenge of the Americas, the move to the Rock Cup program from 10 years of Rotax, the expectations for 2019 as well. And crazy to think about 2019, 2020 just around the corner. But again, just there really is a lot of good positive momentum in the sport of karting right now, all the way down from that grassroots level of Breaks 206 racing, the introduction of some other engine packages, the growth of a lot of these different regional programs, just some great karting nationally as well. Onto the track now as, again, we continue to work through these 20-minute sessions, the extended sessions here as part of pre-qualifying time practice. Andy, when was it when you actually started these extended sessions? It's been quite a while. I don't think it's from the get-go, but really they have been always very well received, having that 20-minute opportunity to come into the pit, make that final change, just getting that last little opportunity to see what you can do.
Yeah, it was suggested probably not the first year of the challenge, maybe a few years in. If you recall, the Rotax Nationals, we used to have open hot pit qualifying, and it was a necessity. And then when we got to the point where our senior fields were in the upper 30s,
yep.
Sometimes we touched 40 a couple times with senior and junior. It became a necessity to be able to divide them out by qualifying time. So this was great to be able to divide them out for the next day.
True.
To separate the classes into the faster group and the group that needed a little bit more work. But it was a necessity. But even though the class sizes are a lot smaller, have been the past couple of years, it's a great way to end Friday for sure.
I love it. As an announcer and people here that are here in the grandstands or working around the paddock, always cool to see what happens. The mechanics really get a chance to make that one little change and immediately see the results of it, as opposed to making a change in the paddock, waiting another half hour to come back out onto the racetrack. Let's have a look and see how things are going now. We're about 8.5 minutes into the session and a really solid field. 18 drivers, Andy, taking to the racetrack here now. And interesting, I'll bring this up first, and then we'll have a look at the times because got some guys moving around here. Oliver Reed moving to the top of the charts now, going purple with a 51.697. He's the quickest driver now. I don't know what it is about people in karting. They want to enter at the very, very last couple of days before a race or what. I think you had 20 people enter here trackside. 67 when we rolled in, and it's like 86 or 87 right now. I don't know what it is about the karting mentality, but wanting to enter as late as possible.
I mean, we all want to hold on to our money as long as possible.
I get that.
But understand,
there's a discount.
As a competitor, yes, there is a discount. Two, promoters, organizers build in that discount because we have to order the fuel. We have to order the tires. It's a logistics side of it. But from a secondary standpoint, which really benefits the driver more than any, is they get press on the pre-race stuff. So if you're on the pre-entry list, your name goes out on EKN and some of the other outlets. So it's in their best interest to pre-enter too.
It's funny that we had somebody. I can't remember what event it was. It might have been even earlier this year. Somebody got essentially mad. They were angered at us that we didn't include their driver in the preview of who we thought was going to challenge for the race win that weekend. But they hadn't pre-entered, so we didn't even know if they were going to be there or not. Yeah, we probably could have made the phone call, but you're talking about 100 and something people at a race. You're not going through to find out who's not there. We're busy. We've got, we're always knocking out stories. Trust me, we're never not working at e-karting because we're always trying to do another story or a race report. Now with the podcasts, we're doing 3 or 4 podcasts a week. Yeah, you're not getting if you're not pre-entered, we don't know about it. You're not in the preview, which of course pisses people off sometimes. But hey, you got to give us something to work with.
Right. I mean, it helps both parties. It helps the race organizers, but it certainly helps the driver. It helps their wallet, and it certainly helps any promotion that they like to put out there.
There's a double angle right there. But let's have a look now. We are right at the halfway point here of our 20-minute session for drivers in Ruthless Karting Junior Rock. Oliver Reed still on top. As I had said earlier, a 51.697 for Oliver. Driver out of El Dorado Hills, California, the number 217. Now, just 9,000ths of a second quicker than Austin Torgerson. Right behind them, Ugo Chukwu, who has been so good throughout this season. Ugo in the third spot right now in the number 201. He does lead the points by 78 over Austin Torgerson coming into the event here now. But just 36,000ths of a second separating first, second, and third. 51.6 for Reed, 51.7 for both Torgerson and Ugo Chukwu. Moving now up into the 4th spot is Ashton Torgerson in the number 202. He'll go to P4. Max Opolsky now into the 5th spot. Ethan Ho runs in 6th. Cooper Becklin in 7th. Bryson Liu in 8th. William Ferguson in 9th. And Aiden O'Neill rounding out the top 10. As I had said when we came back from the break, 18 drivers have turned times. Looks like 19 actually. Cole Gamma in the number 295 has put 1 lap in the books. No time, but did come across the timing beacon at least once to get things underway. Again, hot pit session. Drivers able to come into pit lane. Torgerson was in pit lane, came back out, 51.811. In comes now the number 269 machine to make a pit stop. 269 is Nolan Siegel. Siegel on the spree into pits. Nolan Siegel, the number 269. 52.194 fast lap for Siegel. He's 11th. Brendan Rubarski in 12th. Logan Calderwood in 13th. Jovi Levin in 14th. And Eddie Shimon in the 15th spot. Tyler Snow, Joe Innes, Kyle Castles rounding out the top 18. Reed, Torgerson, Ugochukwu, Torgerson, and Opolsky are current Fast 5, separated by just about 10th and a half. And Andy, you got to go down. First off, you got to go all the way down to top 15, separated by just a second. But in this lead group, top 7 drivers, less than 0.2 of a second. That speaks to the obviously quality of the drivers we have, the quality of the product itself. But man, that's a pretty good little cluster up top. 0.2 of a second separating now the top 8, as Bryson Liu's gone quicker as well.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, you and I, go to and see a lot of races, and it's always exciting when you see the compression in the times, and as the fields get bigger, but the compression stays the same. I mean, like you said, you look and there's 300ths first to fourth, a 10th and a half to 7th, and 3.5 tenths to 10th. So I mean, 3 tenths is not a big deal, and you're in 10th place. You're a mid-packer, 3 tenths off.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and you find a 10th. You find a 10th, and you're in the top. Let's say you're Bryson Liu. You find another 10th. All of a sudden, you're in 5th or 4th. Like you're jumping so quickly just by finding that little bit, and that's what you can do in these hot pit sessions. And you come in, if you're able to give the feedback to your tuner, and they're able to get that and make the right change. Pretty easy to find a 1/10 of a second in the chassis if you can make that one little change.
Oh, it could be as much as a half a pound of tire pressure or less. It could be a jet. It could be. I mean, it's so minute. You can certainly find that time, and it's great. Like you said, it's great to be able to do it. Go right back out. Get that. We're an instant gratification society.
We are.
You get that instant gratification. You have to wait 45 minutes or an hour to get out on track.
But it does work at the same time. It's not just that. It's if you go testing somewhere, you're gonna make those changes. If you're on a track somewhere testing, you're coming in, you're making the change, and you're going right back out. You're going to do that, and I love that about this 20-minute session. It really is, for all intents and purposes, a mini test.
Oh, for sure. I mean, for years I've built, like you said, that schedule. It starts out with a couple of 8-minute sessions earlier in the day when you get here and maybe you don't have quite the right gear or quite the right jet or quite the right tire pressure.
Just that one change, right?
Whatever. So you don't need a 20-minute session at 8 a.m., but you need one at 4 p.m. when it's time to really take the gloves off and show everybody how fast you are.
I like it. I know you are a racer as well. You understand that there's that mentality, the fact that here's this progression of longer sessions when you start to progressively need them. I think it's been great. It's always been something I love. I love calling it as well. We get a chance to kind of hang this happy hour tag on this final session. And again, we are looking at about 5 minutes remaining. Oliver Reed still on top. Austin Torgerson in second. Ugochukwu in third. Ashton Torgerson fourth. And Max Opolsky rounding up the top 5.
And Ugo and Ashton are actually tied for third if you look at their time.
There we go, yep. 51.733. Last time by Ugo a little bit quicker. As actually Ashton's backed it off to a 53.6. But, yeah, both those drivers 36 thousandths of a second behind Oliver Reed. Reed again in that number 217. Reed across the line with a 52.6. Here comes Austin Torgerson here on lap 13. Boom. 51.630. 600ths quicker than Reed. So a 51.630. Now your top time as Torgerson goes purple on lap number 13. 4 minutes to go. Torgerson, Reed, Ugochukwu, Torgerson, and Opolsky. Now that's your top 5. Bryson Liu, Ethan Ho, Cooper Becklin, William Ferguson, Aiden O'Neill, your top 10. Now, Andy, I'll give you one more question before we release you here from the Cooper Tire Broadcast Center. Here's the thought. You went to the Rock Cup International Final last year at South Garden, got a chance to get a feel for it. The event itself, I love the fact that it's not this crazy event in terms of its hecticness. You know, it's kind of more relaxed. When you come to the main event on Saturday, that's all it is. It's I think they call them the Bridgestone B mains. It's Bridgestone mains. Those are the B mains for guys that don't qualify for the mains. There's the full driver, the driver parade. Everything's just kind of laid back and relaxed on that last day. Big party at the end, the prize giving, as they call it. They open the doors, pizza time, cold beer on tap. Just an amazing weekend. Last year, you were there knowing that you were going to make the move within a couple of months and launch the Rock Cup edition, let's say, of the Challenge of the Americas. How different is it going to be this year going back when there's a bunch of guys that essentially are part of your team? They're going to be the challenge team.
Oh, it's going to be great.
Right?
I mean, obviously last year, I wouldn't say I was an outsider, but it was eye-opening. I mean, obviously we've been to a million races in our life,
yeah.
right? I mean, you pick things you like, you don't like, whatever. But yeah, not having your guys there, I was just an observer.
Yeah.
And, just like I had been with Rotex the past 5 years, this next year coming up, now, like you said, I'm going to have some of my guys here.
They're your guys. Yeah.
They're my guys,
yeah.
the guys or gals, that win our championships. They're going to go over there. They're going to probably represent themselves, and the USA, but they represent the Challenge of the Americas. So it's definitely a sense of pride, and I feel like I'm more connected to the event.
Exactly. That's kind of where I was going there. I think it'll be. It's almost like you're gonna have something you're gonna be rooting for. You're obviously gonna be rooting for Team USA and all these kids you've known, regardless of which way they qualify. But there'll be that core group of drivers that came through the challenge. That they'll be the ones you follow everything they do, every session they have, talking to the parents, talking to the mechanics. You'll be that connected. I think it'll be exciting for you.
Absolutely.
Andy, thank you so much for joining us on the Happy Hour. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Rob. Take care.
Andy Saisman, folks, always a pleasure to be here, part of his program. And again, as he said at the very top, we talked about the numbers, how we launched at Phoenix with certain numbers, got a little bit of a little growth, and then kind of stabilized. And we were hoping to see if we couldn't get over the 100 mark here for the finale. Didn't quite get there with 86 or 87, but that the momentum that will build essentially over the next 6 months or 8 months, because we're into April now. And it'll be late February, or rather late January, when the 2019 Challenge of the Americas gets underway. We'll be looking forward, of course, to that schedule, find out where the events will be held. There have been some basic places that we've been at there where we've had races, so we'll look forward to see what happens when the schedule for the 2019 Challenge of the Americas is unveiled. Into the last minute here in Ruthless Karting Junior Rock pre-qualifying. Austin Torgerson on lap number 13, dropped to 51.630 to go 0.06 of a second quicker than Oliver Reed. Ugo Ugochukwu in the number 201 in the third spot. Ashton Torgerson in fourth. Bryson Liu, quickest here on lap number 18. His fast lap 18, moves him to the fifth spot, less than 0.2 back. 0.180 back for Bryson Liu. Maximilian Opolsky in the number 282 in 6th. Ethan Ho in 7th. Cooper Becklin in 8th. William Ferguson 9th. And Aiden O'Neill rounding out the top 10. Checker flag being displayed here at start-finish to end this session. 6 on-track sessions. There'll be 2 done here as the drivers circulate around one final time. Drivers in Performance, Kart Sport, Masters Rock are up next. Masters Rock guys set to go at 3:20 here. Local time, Pacific here on the West Coast. Always a pleasure to make the trek out here to Sonoma Raceway. Again, as I said, just one of the most picturesque views, especially here from the Cooper Tire Broadcast Center, as we look out over the start-finish line, over the valley. Excited to get things underway with wheel-to-wheel racing tomorrow. Those of you who are listening on ekartingnews.com and want to tune in, we'll be live beginning at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Pacific time, all the way through to probably about, I want to say, close to 5 o'clock when we cap things off. It'll be a solid run. We have about a half an hour lunch break at 11:30, but otherwise we've got qualifying, pre-mains, and mains for your round number 5 of the Challenge of the Americas. Sunday, of course, crowning our champions. Austin Torgerson up top. He was the quickest driver here in the Junior Rock category, 51.630 for Torgerson. 51.697 for Oliver Reed, just 67 thousandths of a second separating first and second. A top five dominated by Tony Karts, other than the comp cart of Oliver Reed. The yellow of the comp cart definitely standing out in the sea of green. Ugachukwu in third, Torgerson fourth, Bryson Liu fifth, Opalski in sixth spot, seventh is Ethan Ho, eighth, ninth, and 10th, Cooper Becklin, William Ferguson, and Aiden O'Neill. Again, as I said, Masters Rock brought to you by Performance Kart Sport, up next here on the EKN Radio Network.
You're listening to the final round of the Challenge of the Americas, live from Sim Raceway Performance Karting Center in Sonoma, California, on the EKN Radio Network.
For over a century, Briggs & Stratton has had a commitment and passion for racing. It's a DNA found in every engine we build today. So whether you kart race, Baja, race quarter midgets, or believe that dirt and snow are just God's way of adding to the challenge, the dedicated spirit of every Briggs & Stratton employee stands at the fence waiting for the green flag to drop. Briggs & Stratton Racing. What powers you?
eKartingNews.com fans love handling and performance, and the all-season high-performance Cooper Xeon RS3 G1 delivers both. The Cooper Xeon RS3 G1 is an exciting new all-season high-performance tire designed to look great and perform even better. It offers stability, control, and exceptional grip and traction in wet or dry conditions. Visit us online at coopertire.com for more information, or see a Cooper Tire dealer near you for details on the Cooper Xeon RS3 G1.
The Rock Cup USA Kart Racing Series is a division of the internationally recognized Rock Cup racing program powered by the Vortex engine package. The program promotes parity within the classes, and the parent series, Rock Cup, is an FIA-authorized international series with a 15-year history in over 32 different countries. Powered by the Vortex engine platform, Rock Cup USA offers a competitive racing package throughout its promoted series, including the Florida Winter Tour, Rock Festivals, Rock the Rio, Challenge of the Americas, and a flourishing regional club program throughout the United States and multiple Canadian series. All the best rockers from around the world have the opportunity to take part in the prestigious Rock Cup International Final, an international event that crowns global rock champions. In 2017, the Rock Cup International Final had a record number of countries represented, 49 from 5 continents, and saw 415 rockers take to the grid. Rock Cup International Final tickets will be awarded at the Florida Winter Tour, Challenge of the Americas, and the Rock Festival. For more information on Rock Cup USA, please visit www.rockcupusa.com.
Since 2003, K1 Race Gear has been a one-stop shop for all your indoor and outdoor karting needs. From racing shoes, suits, and driving gloves to chest protectors, rib vests, accessories, and bags, K1 Race Gear provides quality karting products for the enthusiast and the professional alike. We have an incredible lineup of K1 karting suits designed to fit everyone's budget. Check out our entry-level GK2, the new Apex 2, and our top-of-the-line Speed 1 suit. Then, choose from our Apex and RS1 karting gloves and add in our K1 shoes, rib protectors, and neck collars. If you need a custom suit to support your sponsors, we can create a custom look as unique as you are. As you would expect, our custom suits are made to order. With pricing as low as $495, you're sure to find a suit that not only satisfies your racing needs, but is easy on the wallet as well. We take care of all of our customers at K1 Race Gear, not just the ones with deep pockets. Visit K1RaceGear.com today and get everything you need for your next racing season. If your dream is IndyCar, set your sights on the Mazda Road to Indy presented by Cooper Tires. The first step of the ladder system is the Cooper Tires USF 2000 Championship powered by Mazda, which prepares young drivers for the calculated jump to the Pro Mazda Championship presented by Cooper Tires where increased power, grip, and aero downforce fast-track your training. The final rung is the Indy Lights presented by Cooper Tires program. The last 4 Indy Lights champions will be racing in the Verizon IndyCar Series this year, so it's a proven formula. At all 3 levels, you will race at premier venues on the same weekends as IndyCar. Showcase your skills under the watchful eyes of IndyCar scouts and owners. Former karters fill the roster of Mazda Road to Indy graduates like Spencer Piggott, Gabby Chavez, Zach Veach, Ed Jones, and 2017 Indy Lights champion Kyle Kaiser. Recent karting graduates like Oliver Askew are in the middle of their journeys as well. Follow in their footsteps. Fulfill your dream. If you want to race IndyCar, there is only one choice. The Mazda Road to Indy, presented by Cooper Tires.
After taking on the highly anticipated Florida Winter Tour, remaining promoted events by Rock Cup USA include the Rock Festivals and Rock the Rio event. In May, join us at the NOLA Rock Festival at NOLA Motorsports Park in Avondale, Louisiana. It's set for May 17th through 20th. The NOLA Festival will see the Rockers take to one of the best facilities in the country and undoubtedly a race favorite. The second Rock Festival will be at Oakland Valley Raceway Park in Cuddybackville, New York, and will take place July 19th through the 22nd. Full podiums at both events will receive Rock the Rio entry, while race winners at the OVRP Festival will also receive coveted Rock International Finals tickets, provided they participated in both festivals. The crown jewel of the 2018 schedule will see the Rockers from around the world descend on the fabulous city of Las Vegas at the Rio All-Suite Casino and Hotel. The first annual Rock the Rio event will award upwards of $35,000 in cash over the 7 Rock classes. For more information on all Rock Cup USA promoted events, please visit www.rockcupusa.com.
Now back to turn-by-turn coverage of the Challenge of the Americas finale, live from the Cooper Tire Broadcast Center at the Sim Raceway Performance Karting Center, brought to you by Rock Cup USA, Briggs & Stratton, and K1 Race Gear. Welcome back to live coverage here in Sonoma, California. Rounds number 5 and 6 here this weekend of the Challenge of the Americas. First year as a Rock Cup program. And, of course, a couple of races already in the books as we come here to the finale. Started the season off in January in Phoenix, moving to Cal Speed Karting in Southern California, just on the outside of Auto Club's Speedway in Fontana. That was in February, and, of course, now here we are mid-April and getting things dialed in to see who's going to be the champions for 2018. Had a chance to talk to Andy Saisman over the first couple of sessions, but on track now. Performance Kart Sports Masters Rock and their pre-qualifying time practice. A 20-minute open hot pit session for these drivers. They've got 6 minutes in the books. My next guest waiting in the wings, fast driver in the Masters, the Rock Shifter category, Nicky Hayes. We'll have a chat with him here momentarily. Let's have a look at the top 10 drivers currently rolling here in Rock Masters. Jonathan Silva, in the number 441 on the comp card, fastest driver right now at 51.715, almost 0.3 of a second quicker than Nick DeGraff in the VME number 472. Eric Jackson, number 486 machine, the VME driver in third spot, currently your point leader in the category, 61 points ahead of Paul Bonilla, who's not here this weekend. Jonathan Silva in the number 441, we just talked about him, top of the charts. He's 75 points back, still with a shot at the championship here. David Pregande and Mike Giles in the 4th and the 5th positions. Giles currently running in 6th spot. David Pregande on track here in the 9th position, nursing some injured ribs. We'll see how he handles the remainder of the weekend. But nonetheless, Jonathan Silva on top. 2/10 of a second quicker, almost 3/10 quicker than Nick DeGraff. Eric Jackson turned his quickest lap there on lap number 6 of 51.986. He goes to within 3/10 of a second as well. Steve Piggott in the number 415 Xpree now in 4th. Alan Morte in 5th. Mike Giles in 6th spot. David Pergandi up to 7th here. 3 laps down now, 52.357, just 0.6 of a second behind Jonathan Silva. Ed Quinn in the 426 in 8th. Ronaldo Neves in 9th. And Curtis Breeding on the VME rounding of the 10 drivers we have in the Masters category here this weekend. Championship's going to be a good battle. As we said, Eric Jackson and Jonathan Silva in the fight. David Pergandi there as well. But again, Pergandi, as we said, hurting his ribs a little bit in practice yesterday. So he'll be nursing those. We'll see how he essentially performs for the rest of the weekend. Going to be tough for him. Pergandi in the number 408 Tony Kart. Silva brings the 441 down pit lane now. Actually, fast driver on the racetrack, David Pergandi. He goes P1, 51.589. Pergandi's got the speed. Must have popped a bunch of Tylenols before he came out here. David Pergandi, as we said, impressive, especially with the injured ribs. Wouldn't be surprised to see him head to pit lane and say, you know what, I got the speed, I'm good. I'll just park this thing now and see how I feel tomorrow. 51.589 Pergandi, a 10th quicker than Jonathan Silva. Nick DeGraff in 3rd. Eric Jackson 4th. Hey, I think I know why Pergandi, David Cole stepping things up. We put a picture of David Cole on our Instagram story sitting in Pergandi's seat because if David doesn't go, I think they're going to draft Cole and get him on the behind the wheel on Sunday. So I think with the thought of having that replacement driver losing the factory ride over at FTK, might have prompted Pergandi to turn things up a little bit. Let's, we got some time here now. We're midway through this session. Let's get a quick chat here with Nikki Hayes. Nikki, fire your mic up. Make sure it's ready to go. Thanks for joining us here on the Happy Hour.
Yeah, love to join you, Rob. It's definitely a beautiful day out here in Sonoma. I can't complain.
It's always rough here in Sonoma, isn't it?
Oh, man, we have it way too good. It makes every other track. I don't want to go anywhere else.
The funny thing is, every once in a while, when we've had races here, finales for the challenge, we've got a lot of rain. And we'll talk about this. Well, let's talk about it now. Because you're fast here on Happy Hour practice. There's a potential for rain on Sunday when we're talking about the championships.
Yeah.
You are doing what you can right now. We'll roll into that. Let's start with the fact that you're obviously one of the top, let's say, single speed tag drivers in the country. You won the Pro Kart Challenge Championship last year. You're making the transition over to shifter karts. How has that transition been? What has been the biggest hurdle for you to find that extra speed?
Honestly, most of it is just consistency. With the gearbox and having so much going on, it's mentally you have to just slow everything down and stay calm, and it's a 25-lap race. You can't be inconsistent. You can't be pushing a little bit too hard because then over 25 laps you're just going to fade. So I think a lot of it is actually your physical preparation, and not only your physical preparation but the mental preparation.
There is a little more in there, isn't there, to a certain extent?
Exactly. The tag, you get into a rhythm and you're in a race and there's big packs of karts. But this, it's so intense. The racing is not nearly as tight, not nearly as aggressive, but driving it itself is so much more of a challenge. I love it.
I know when I first started running shifters, now you probably weren't even born, but how old are you now?
I'm 16.
Yeah, you weren't born yet. It was 2001 when I first started, so you weren't even born yet. When the first time I ran a shifter, and I remember when I ran, there was so much happening. It took me an entire season until I really got comfortable at the end of the year, and all this stuff that I thought was so hard to concentrate on became kind of rote. It's the kind of thing that, once now you're comfortable that you don't even worry about it because you know what to do. Do you feel you're there yet? Are you at that point where most of the stuff is just happens and you don't have to think about it?
Yeah, honestly, working with Phil, all of it is a mental game. You can do anything you want to a go-kart. You could change everything. And 99% of it is just how you drive, staying calm, and being in a good enough shape that you're not thinking, oh, I'm tired, oh, my neck hurts, oh, little this, little that.
Yeah.
It's all about just staying calm and almost driving it just like you're in a tag. It's relaxed, and it gets easy.
Exactly. Now, you came out of the gate very strongly at Phoenix. Was that a surprise to you that you're going to be that quick out of the box? Obviously, there's 3 guys in the championship battle right now. Yourself, Alex Keys, and Cole Bailey. You came out of the box really strong. Were you surprised?
Yes, a little bit because...
You want to say no because,
Yes, because we tested the go-kart one time.
Wow.
Before we went out. We did one day, and I was like, yes, it feels okay. Phoenix, we struggled a little bit at the beginning. really worked hard at it. Really, me and my dad worked at it, looked at data. Phil really helped out a lot with the driving side. And honestly, if you put everything together, it's a really hard package to beat with the Burrell. I mean, the go-kart is so easy to work with. It's so easy to drive. It's really hard to beat.
So move forward to Cal Speed. You guys are all in the middle of the battle again. You know, you're dicing it out with Alex Keys. Alex had a really good weekend there to put himself kind of in the position to win the championship right now. But again, he's good here, but so are you. What were your thoughts at Cal Speed? How did you feel you performed there, having that first race in the books?
At Cal Speed, I felt like, honestly, it was one of those mental weekends where I just wasn't at my 100%. Honestly, just overthinking it, making too many changes where, honestly, it was all me.
Yeah.
End of the weekend, I felt like I really picked it up, but obviously we had a little mechanical issue on Sunday that put us out of the contention. Going into this weekend, I did a little bit of practice, really just worked on myself, and I think that's really what it is just having that little mental edge.
You know, when we do look at I was looking at the points. It does tighten up a lot when you look at the drop you're going to have. You're going to tighten it up a lot better. You talked about making mental mistakes at Cal Speed in those rounds. Is that something now? I always say that you learn more from a failure than you do a success. Do you think you grew a bit as a driver, as a shifter car driver, based on those mistakes you made and being able to learn from them?
Exactly. You know, really, when you saw Alex, he destroyed everybody. Did not make a mistake. Drove perfect all weekend. No one can drive around him. And, you know, mentally, I was pushing so hard where I almost lost what I was doing.
Yeah.
So it's a key of just maintaining that confidence that, yes, I have the go-kart to win. If I put everything together, no one's going to beat me. So it's just having that mental confidence that, yeah, I think we have the package to win.
So where are you guys this weekend? How are you guys feeling? How's the, you know, how is the are you on you're on the Ricardo again this weekend? You're on the Ricardo, which is essentially the same as the Burrell. How's it on the track right now? Is it planted? Do you feel good? Is the car going where you want it to go?
Honestly, the go-kart, this is the most dialed I felt in the go-kart all year long. The go-kart, I can run the same lap time over and over again. We make very little changes. Sometimes we try stuff, and, yeah, it doesn't work, but it's half a tenth slower. So what I really love about this package that not only PSL has given us and Phil, it's just the go-kart's so easy to work with. We can make little changes and see improvements, see what works, see what doesn't work.
You know, I listen to what you're saying, and I love the fact you have so much confidence in your team and in the equipment. And it seems to me like you've grown a lot. We're talking about really back in January, 2.5 months, not even 3 months from that race to this race. How do you feel you've grown as a driver, and do you feel you're ready to challenge here this weekend?
I think, honestly, all of it has been in my head and also physically preparing for the shifter kart. I think I've grown a lot, mainly with the consistency in the shifter. I think I could put down the lap time, no problem before. It's just now it's 25 laps. I got to do it 25
Can you
times.
do it for 25 laps? Are you getting tired at the end? Let me tell you that. Let me ask you that.
Honestly, I feel like, especially here, I'm like, the session's over already, and I did 12 laps. So for me, I think it's going to be good over the 25 laps. I'm excited for the race. I really love driving this track, so I think it's going to be good.
Hey, good luck this weekend.
Thank you, Rob.
Great interview, folks. Here's a guy we're going to be watching here this weekend, Nicky Hayes. Impressive in that rock shifter category for Phil Giebler Racing. Nicely done, my friend. Well done. Nicky Hayes, again, one to watch for. And, you know, some really good insight there from Nicky. Talk about the fact that he's jumped from the single-speed tag category. He's done a lot of racing, of course, with the X30. He jumps into the rock shifter and has to get a feel for it. It's a different ride. It's a different experience. I know I've had a chance to run both the single-speed. I've run four-cycle, and I've got a chance to run a lot of shifter kart races. And then a lot of guys will get into a shifter kart. They won't want to do anything else because that particular discipline, that style of karting really kind of places them. It feeds that emotion they want when they're behind the wheel. And to see Nicky do what he did throughout the season, starting off so well at Phoenix, and even saying that he just felt like he was maybe behind the car a little bit. Then he made some mental mistakes and his own mistakes at Cal Speed. He's learned from those. He's grown from those, and now he's going to come here this weekend. I'm really looking forward to seeing what kind of a championship battle we can have because you get a veteran like Alex Keys. Of course, Alex has moved on and has won multiple races at the Red Bull Global Rallycross level, running in the GRC Light Series, looking to try to do actually the GRC Pro Class here in 2018. Just a driver who has so much experience and is so poised and so mature. And really for both Cole Bailey and Nicky Hayes, all three of them drawing off each other and challenging each other will just make them better drivers. Onto the track now, as I said before, Performance Kart Sport Masters Rock. David Pregandi with that quick lap time. In fact, he's already headed back to the paddock area. 589 for Pregandi, and the Tony Kart number 408. Over a tenth quicker than Jonathan Silva. Pregandi doing 5 laps, as I said, his quickest lap forward. Said, you know what? I'm good. I feel comfortable. Cole, did you talk to him, David? What's going on? David says no. He hasn't even talked to him yet. Trying to get David to grab the mic. I can get him on a podcast. He'll talk all day long on a podcast, but he won't grab the mic trackside here on the PA. Leaving that for the big boss. Pregande, Silva, DeGraff, Jackson, and Alan Morte, Fast Five in the Rock Masters category. Top five separated by just over a half a second. Top eight by 0.8 of a second. Pregande able to put that one lap down. That'll feel good knowing that the ribs are a little sore, but the speed is there. He's got to do what he can to be able to work his way through this weekend. Silva looked good out of the box. Lap 5, his best time, a 51.715, just over 1/10 of a second slower than Pregande. More drivers heading into the pit lane. Looks like they're done for the day as well. Nick DeGraff here in the VME, number 472. Just about 0.4 of a second back, 51.983. Yep. Third and fourth place drivers, Nick DeGraff and Eric Jackson. I was going to say 4 drivers have been able to go below the 52-second mark. Pregande, Silva, DeGraff, and Jackson. And DeGraff and Jackson, both drivers on the VMEs, separated by just 0.03 of a second for third and fourth. On track, let's see, 1, 2... I think 3 drivers remain on the racetrack here. A number of them have already headed off track and back to the paddock area. 206 drivers, our Briggs racers, will be on track next. RLV LO206 and the M2 Power Sportswear LO206 Junior Class will be on track to bang out some laps here. Their final run, a 20-minute pre-qualifying time practice session. Still a minute to go in the session here. Ed Quinn still on track, as is the number 438 Mike Giles. I think we've got 2 drivers remaining on track. We're going to cap off this session, folks. David Pregande with the quickest lap time, 51.589. Jonathan Silva in second. Nick DeGraff third. Eric Jackson fourth. And Alan Morte rounding out the Fast Five. Halfway through pre-qualifying timed practice. Rob Howden alongside David Cole. 2:06 up after these messages. You're listening to the final round of the Challenge of the Americas, live from Sim Raceway Performance Karting Center in Sonoma, California, on the EKN Radio Network.
For over a century, Briggs & Stratton has had a commitment and passion for racing. It's a DNA found in every engine we build today. So whether you kart race, Baja, race quarter midgets, or believe that dirt and snow are just God's way of adding to the challenge, the dedicated spirit of every Briggs & Stratton employee stands at the fence waiting for the green flag to drop. Briggs & Stratton Racing. What powers you?
eKartingNews.com fans love handling and performance, and the all-season high-performance Cooper Xeon RS3 G1 delivers both. Cooper Xeon RS3 G1 is an exciting new all-season high-performance tire designed to look great and perform even better. It offers stability, control, and exceptional grip and traction in wet or dry conditions. Visit us online at coopertire.com for more information, or see a Cooper Tire dealer near you for details on the Cooper Xeon RS3 G1.
The Rock Cup USA Kart Racing Series is a division of the internationally recognized Rock Cup racing program powered by the Vortex Engine Package. The program promotes parity within the classes, and the parent series, Rock Cup, is an FIA-authorized international series with a 15-year history in over 32 different countries. Powered by the Vortex Engine platform, Rock Cup USA offers a competitive racing package throughout its promoted series, including the Florida Winter Tour, Rock Festivals, Rock the Rio, Challenge of the Americas, and a flourishing regional club program throughout the United States and multiple Canadian series. All the best rockers from around the world have the opportunity to take part in the prestigious Rock Cup International Final, an international event that crowns global rock champions. In 2017, the Rock Cup International Final had a record number of countries represented, 49 from 5 continents, and saw 415 rockers take to the grid. Rock Cup International Final tickets will be awarded at the Florida Winter Tour, Challenge of the Americas, and the Rock Festival. For more information on Rock Cup USA, please visit www.rockcupusa.com.
Since 2003, K1 Race Gear has been a one-stop shop for all your indoor and outdoor karting needs. From racing shoes, suits, and driving gloves to chest protectors, rib vests, accessories, and bags, K1 Race Gear provides quality karting products for the enthusiast and the professional alike. We have an incredible lineup of K1 karting suits designed to fit everyone's budget. Check out our entry-level GK2, the new Apex 2, and our top-of-the-line Speed 1 suit. Then, choose from our Apex and RS1 karting gloves and add in our K1 shoes, rib protectors, and neck collars. If you need a custom suit to support your sponsors, we can create a custom look as unique as you are. As you would expect, our custom suits are made to order. With pricing as low as $495, you're sure to find a suit that not only satisfies your racing needs, but is easy on the wallet as well. We take care of all of our customers at K1 Race Gear, not just the ones with deep pockets. Visit K1RaceGear.com today and get everything you need for your next racing season. If your dream is IndyCar, set your sights on the Mazda Road to Indy presented by Cooper Tires. The first step of the ladder system is the Cooper Tires USF 2000 Championship powered by Mazda, which prepares young drivers for the calculated jump to the Pro Mazda Championship presented by Cooper Tires, where increased power, grip, and aero downforce fast-track your training. The final rung is the Indy Lights presented by Cooper Tires program. The last 4 Indy Lights champions will be racing in the Verizon IndyCar Series this year, so it's a proven formula. At all 3 levels, you will race at premier venues on the same weekends as IndyCar. Showcase your skills under the watchful eyes of IndyCar scouts and owners. Former karters fill the roster of Mazda Road to Indy graduates like Spencer Piggott, Gabby Chavez, Zach Veach, Ed Jones, and 2017 Indy Lights champion Kyle Kaiser. Recent karting graduates like Oliver Askew are in the middle of their journeys as well. Follow in their footsteps. Fulfill your dream. If you want to race IndyCar, there is only one choice. The Mazda Road to Indy, presented by Cooper Tires.
After taking on the highly anticipated Florida Winter Tour, remaining promoted events by Rock Cup USA include the Rock Festivals and Rock the Rio event. In May, join us at the NOLA Rock Festival at NOLA Motorsports Park in Avondale, Louisiana. It's set for May 17th through 20th. The NOLA Festival will see the Rockers take to one of the best facilities in the country and undoubtedly a race favorite. The second Rock Festival will be at Oakland Valley Raceway Park in Cuddybackville, New York, and will take place July 19th through the 22nd. Full podiums at both events will receive Rock the Rio entry, while race winners at the OVRP Festival will also receive coveted Rock International Finals tickets, provided they participated in both festivals. The crown jewel of the 2018 schedule will see the Rockers from around the world descend on the fabulous city of Las Vegas at the Rio All-Suite Casino and Hotel. The first annual Rock the Rio event will award upwards of $35,000 in cash over the 7 Rock classes. For more information on all Rock Cup USA promoted events, please visit www.rockcupusa.com.
Now back to turn-by-turn coverage of the Challenge of the Americas finale, live from the Cooper Tire Broadcast Center at the Sim Raceway Performance Karting Center, brought to you by Rock Cup USA, Briggs & Stratton, and K1 Race Gear.
Welcome back to Sonoma, California. Rob Howden alongside David Cole as our happy hour session here from the Challenge of the Americas finale. Halfway through, in fact, just crossed over into the second half. 4th of 6 race groups now onto the racetrack. 206, the Briggs drivers on track. RLV LO206 Senior and the M2 Power Sportswear sponsored LO206 Junior drivers have now taken to the racetrack for their 20-minute pre-qualifying time practice. Open hot pit for the drivers to roll down pit lane to their mechanics, make a minor adjustment, whether it's front geometry, whether it's a torsion bar, whether it's air pressure, whatever they decide to do. Rear width, front width, a lot of adjustments can be made pretty quickly here on pit lane to try to find that little extra speed. 4 drivers working together here now to get a feel for their karts in the draft. Coming across the line, Cooper Becklin, Ashton Torgerson, Justin Gortz, and Ryan Martin running together as well. 102.7 for Gortz, 103 flat for Ryan Martin, the 2 drivers on the K&K chassis, making the trek down from Alberta. Thrilled to have the K&K West crew here with us throughout the entire Challenge of the Americas. Cooper Becklin with the fast lap thus far, a 101.998. Ashton Torgerson now goes to the top of the charts. 101.380 for Ashton in the number 100. Cooper Becklin, P2, 101.423. No transponders on the carts for the Calderwoods. A little shortage of transponders here today will be good for the weekend. Couple categories still to come after our 206s. We have our VME Kart Senior Rock Drivers up at 4:10, just about 20 minutes from now. And then we'll cap things off with the combination Mini Rock, Micro Rock race group. That'll end off the day here. Again, starting the day with 8-minute sessions, 2 8-minute sessions. And then practice rounds 3 and practice rounds 4, 12-minute each. And as we had detailed when talking to Andy Saisman, the progression through, giving everyone just a chance to kind of get things dialed in, extended sessions, and this 20-minute hot pit session allowing changes mid-session to try to dial things in before we head into the full events tomorrow. Morning warm-up, drivers on track here in the shifter kart categories at 8 a.m. From 8 till about 9:10, we'll be doing our morning warm-up. 9:15 scheduled drivers meeting. Qualifying set to go at 10 a.m. We have our lunch break at 11:30. Pre-mains at 12 o'clock. Of course, those races will set the grids for the main events, which start at 2:15. We're looking at podium presentations right around 5:30 tomorrow afternoon. Again, that's round number 5. Round 6, though, will be on Sunday. We're going to find out who the champions are this year in the Challenge of the Americas, and we'll find out which drivers have earned tickets to go to the Rock Cup International Final at South Garda. Getting a chance to talk here right now with Josh Huff, one of the longtime tuners here as part of the Challenge of the Americas, working this weekend with David Pregandi. But, Josh, as is the case with many guys in the sport, it's not just a couple of weekends here and there. You have your own program as well. JH Motorsports, Josh Huff Motorsports, and it finds you trackside on a regular basis. A lot of weekends, LAKC down at Cal Speed. You're doing the Tri-C program as well. Talk a little bit about what JH Motorsports is. People know you, of course, for being on the national level, tuning for whoever you are from coast to coast. David Pregandi here, working as well with the VME program on the East Coast with Chase Gardner. You have a number of people that you've tuned for. But back home, you got your own deal, JH Motorsports, a lot of 206 stuff. Tell me about what's going on with JH.
Well, thanks, Rob, for the time. I appreciate it. Yeah, good job to Dave. I mean,
Dave Pagandi, yeah.
Man, the background right now, I think the guy dislocated a rib, broke it. Either way, it was, definitely came to a stop last session about 3 hours ago, and I wasn't sure if he was going to make it, and pulled it together, put it down, put a good setup on it. Team came together. Can't thank enough. Everybody worked together. Eric, Dave, we all worked together. Giles, and it's a team effort here.
Yeah.
What Andy gives us to do, and it's great. And so we put it on top, and so I'm looking forward to see what we can do the rest of the weekend.
What was David saying? Like, to go out, most guys were putting in between, 10 and 13, 14 laps. They were leveraging the entire 20-minute session. David waits, goes out, puts 5 laps in. Lap 4 is best. I'm good.
That's
I'm
it.
going to park it. Did he know he was P1?
No, the wait was because he was wrapping himself with foam. So there was the delay of him trying to get prepped to get in the cart. So it was really just to go see what he could do physically. And we knew the speed he's capable of and just getting there and really see if he could physically do it. And he put it down, so I'm pretty proud.
Interesting to see what will happen tomorrow. Of course, he's got to qualify first. Does he run the full pre-final? Is he going to try to go the distance, or does he run a lap, park it, and think about the main?
People listening out there, skipping qualifying sometimes does pay off, and maybe parking it through a few heat races and making your way through the field. Just depends on the driving ability and the many laps. And this is a long race, this is a long weekend, and there's a chance he could come out pretty well looking here, but championships are still undecided.
Yep.
Things can happen, and so we'll just see what we can do, make the best of it.
All right, let's talk JH Motorsports, a new program you launched last year, your own deal. To do at the club level, and the regional level, there's a couple programs where it's your own program. You're doing a lot of stuff with the 206. You've offered up the 206 program at a cheap level to get people racing. You put a lot of time in, and you really kind of support that grassroots level of racing in California. What's going on here for 2018?
Well, the big push started off, with the VLR chassis from RLV. That's a great, solid platform, and that's where I started with JH Motorsports with the foundation of getting new customers and current customers into racing for a cheap, affordable amount to be able to keep going through and learn something. And then as it progressed, things went great. I picked up and fortunate was able to get the VME product line, and we've been obviously stellar with that with the cadets. We just had a new Masters driver join our force at Tri-C this past weekend, and so he was very pleased with the product, and we just keep pushing, we just keep learning. Chase is doing great this weekend over there with J.O. and Freckleton Power. Everything's going good. It's just got to keep everything rolling.
One of the things we've talked about as part of a discussion that everybody brings up when we talk about the sport and how to grow it and how to get more people into it, and that's trying to promote the sport outside of our own walls, outside of the race. We're trying to go to different people. I know that you spent a lot of time there was an auto show or whatever. I think it was a car show.
A car show.
A car show you were
Weekly
doing.
Car show did down in El Cajon, California,
just
to promote the sport.
Getting out there with
get people in.
Getting out there with a tent. Let me preface it. Let me lay it out. Get the visual for people that are, because remember we can't show a picture of this right now on the EKN Radio Network. Yes. You got the 10x20 JH Motorsports tent out there. You got a couple carts dialed in, ready to go, and you are there. And people are asking questions, and you're answering it right there. You're just filling them in on karting. It's just promoting outside the sport in the car world, too, which I always say that if we go into the car world like that, or at a race, whatever it may be, a NASCAR race, IndyCar race, they're predisposed as already being car guys. They're enthusiasts already.
They understand what
it's an easier jump than getting a soccer player to go karting. It's a guy that loves cars already. You say, hey, listen, you can come and race this for X amount of dollars.
Well, my new customer, his choice was going to be a Chevy S10 truck or a new go-kart, and I said, well, I'm not letting you buy a new truck. So he went and bought a go-kart. So you're right. It's just getting new blood into the sport and keeping and maintaining the blood that's here on an affordable and presentable level. Look, my biggest thing with JH Motorsports is doing what I say I'm going to do and being able to do it properly. And I'm not going to overextend myself and promise the world. That's why I find my niche in the club, regional level with 206 and the 100cc platform is where to build the sport and teach drivers. Understand what's really going on out there with the go-kart, and not just, I went faster on my Micron. That doesn't mean much if you don't know what's really going on out there. And that's what I try to teach drivers from 8, 10 to 45-year-olds. They're all the same, just the fundamentals and understand what's really going on with the go-kart.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that because obviously we have an article series on the website right now called The Art of Racecraft, where we're having guys like TJ Coyne, Jamie Siraki. We have an article coming from Jim Russell Jr., Gary Lawson's doing one. We're going to have Alan Rudolph, Oliver Askew, Wesley Boswell's going to be putting some information in. And you talk about that. It's teaching drivers the fundamentals early on. And that's, I think, some of the issues when you get some of these kids that maybe jump up into the national level too quickly. They haven't learned those fundamentals of racing. They haven't learned the fundamentals of racecraft, how to overtake properly without contact. It's cool to see you and using those terms teach the fundamentals and teach. It's not just about being a tuner to a certain extent. When you're working with a young driver, you're teaching them how to drive. You're teaching them the respect that you demand as their mechanic. Don't bring this thing back in a heaping pile of crap.
That's the biggest thing is respect. You notice that, and I can't really say other words as do as I say, do as I don't. It's respect, because the fact that you're representing yourself, a family, a team, whoever it is, you're representing me standing by your side. So don't go out there and look like an ass. Do it right and do it properly and understand what's really going on and be a professional. Be a professional in the sport. That's the biggest thing I think is what we're losing here is that we want to have fun, but this has to be taken as a professional sport. You can't just throw it away and go, give me another one.
It's funny because, maybe people are always coming up with an idea, how do we penalize somebody? If you look at hockey, we're getting into the hockey playoffs right now. There's a legal way to hit, and there's an illegal way to hit. If you hit illegally, you're in the penalty box for 2 minutes. Maybe we just need a penalty box up here where if you've hit somebody, we'll park you for 2 minutes to get you back on the racetrack because – obviously in hockey or in football or whatever it may be, there's a way to do it right, and there's an illegal way to do it where you get a penalty.
Right.
And I think maybe we need to look at it that way, where you've just got to be penalized for doing it illegally because it's not the right way to do it. You do it in a hockey game,
right,
and someone's dropping the gloves, and you're getting the crap beat out of you.
Is again back to teaching in the fundamentals, and that's where I think we need to strive a little bit more importance on driver meetings, on understanding racecraft, understanding cause and effect and penalties and what's going to happen. And then having maybe more of a procedure just even for, the on-track staff, knowing what to watch, where more to watch, when to watch. Just everybody's got to do their part to step up. I mean, we can point fingers all day long, and, of course, turn one and last laps. I mean, come on, it's a given. It's going to happen. But the people watching need to understand what they're watching and why and how to penalize properly.
Well, the one word you used right there is exactly what I said in my first column when I talked about the changing of the culture, and it was everybody, everyone. And when I said about the changing of the culture, everybody's going to play a role. Because there'll be people that say, oh, it's just the race directors. If the officials step up and penalize us, we'll stop doing it. No, you'll probably still do it, but then you'll get penalized. If we change the culture, the drivers won't be as reckless. They'll drive cleaner and they'll make better moves. The race officials will get more aggressive and understand that they've got to make calls. The parents will demand more out of their kids.
And respect the officials.
And respect the officials.
Respect
That's
the
one thing.
officials.
I have an article I'm working on to a certain extent that David and I get a chance to be around officials where they're talking to drivers or mechanics or team owners, and sometimes the language that we hear, the way we see a team owner or a mechanic or a tuner talk to an official is disgusting. Honestly, I would recommend that person be thrown out for the weekend or suspended. It's just absolutely disgusting the way we see it sometimes, and that's part of the respect thing. We talk about everybody wants the drivers to be more respectful. They want the officials to be tougher, but that middle ground sometimes, whether it's the industry, whoever it is in the industry member, the mechanic, the team owner, whoever it is, on many occasions, not a lot, but there are occasions where the F-bombs fly, the S-bombs, everything, the language is disgusting. It's aggressive.
The emotions are raw.
It's raw emotions, but it's aggressive. You can have raw emotions and plead your case, but you do so with some respect, and you're going to
keep yourself in check.
Exactly,
absolutely,
Josh. Exactly.
Yes.
Now, again, talk about this year. Are you excited about this year? You guys, you're California, so you've raced 100 times already.
Already.
It's still frozen in Michigan, where David Cole is, and where I am in Canada. Like we're not racing yet. You've already got a lot of racing in. Are you excited about the way the season's going for JH?
Things are progressing good on a positive note. And again, just delivering my customers what they can ask for and what I can supply them with. And that's the biggest thing, because a lot of happens in this industry is promise, and it's really hard to deliver. So I try not to overextend myself, do what I can, and do 100% at it.
Yeah, you know what? They say, whatever you do it 100% and do it well. You don't need to be massive and overextend yourself and not be able to take...
I have a lot of respect for everybody's in the industry between, Andy, FTK, Phil, Ryan Perry. I mean, go on and on and on. I'm just trying to make my mark and do where I can, and I get in good with the 206, our Drive and Drive programs, 100cc, and then I work well with the Masters on a national level. It's just you got to find your way and do what you can.
You got a great platform. What you've brought has been great. Again, talking to Josh Huff here from JH Motorsports, one of the top tuners nationally as well, but of course has this grassroots program where he's really growing the sport. The funny thing, I'm on the outside looking into a certain extent. I got a chance to race one of their events myself, Josh, but one of the coolest things I think really it's happened in Southern California, probably in the last 2-3 years, has been the development of the Tri-C Karters Club again.
Yes.
It was on the absolute brink of being almost gone. 25 guys, 30 guys at a race, 2, 3, 4 guys in the class. And then they got a hold of that 206 and said, hey, we're going to do this thing. Andy Saisman and his 206 Lounge bringing guys out to race. All of a sudden, the momentum grew from 4 to 12 to 30 to now it's such a huge part of Tri-C. And the Tri-C Club and the Strength has offered that, another option. There's LAKC, which is kind of higher-end racing to a certain extent. The Tri-C has its great program. They're doing some stuff up at Willow again now. That club-level stuff in Southern California, if we could rebuild that foundation, it would be huge, I think.
It's good. I mean, it's a place where you can go and just learn and still have a good time.
Yeah.
And you can have a good time at any series. It doesn't matter where you want to go.
It's how you approach
It's
it, right?
how you. It's all in the beholder. How you perceive what you want to do and what you actually realistically can accomplish in the time frame to accomplish it in. And Tri-C gives you the Saturday to have your weekend and still give you the Sunday raced off. So a lot of guys like that. Some guys want, to practice Saturday, race Sunday, but you're never going to please anybody. But the fact that, the biggest thing to me, I'll tell you right now, Rob, is the coffee and donuts. As simple as it is, when you can go there to a driver's meeting and just have everybody around, have a good time, let everybody know you're here, but take it seriously, be respectful. That, to me, is why I support them. I became a series sponsor and, try to invest back in what I believe in.
Yeah, the Tri-C has really hit a niche that I think was very well needed in Southern California. Let's have a quick look here with a minute to go in our LO206 Briggs categories. Of course, we're talking Briggs Racing with Josh Huff from JH Motorsports, of course, working this weekend as he does throughout the challenge under the full throttle karting tent for Andy Saisman. On the wrenches for David Pergande, the Masters driver. Cooper Becklin on top in the number 191, a 60.820. That's a 100.820, a whopping 0.03 of a second quicker than Ashton Torgerson. Very close up top between those two drivers. As I said, Tuesday in Logan Calderwood, the transponders not on those carts as they're a little short on transponders here today. Will be good for the weekend. Justin Gortz and Ryan Martin, the two drivers out of Alberta on the K&K chassis, back by about 0.7 of a second, a 61.585, the best for Gortz, and a 61.6. Pardon me, change it. Last lap, as I'm saying it here with 3 seconds to go, 61.395 for Ryan Martin. He goes now just a half a second behind Becklin and Torgerson. Of course, both those drivers, Martin and Gortz, in the senior category, Becklin and Torgerson in junior. So again, 8 drivers in our Briggs & Stratton 206 categories here this weekend. 4 sessions down, 4 groups down, 2 more to go. VME Kart Senior Rock next up. A quick chat to wrap things up here with Josh Huff. Josh, again, the full season, you got, how many weekends do you have this year? Do you have a schedule? I know I have a full spreadsheet.
Man, I try not to think that far ahead. I'm just going to go weekend by weekend right now, and we'll just go with that. But It's pretty busy. But it's a lot. I wouldn't ask for anything else.
Thank you for coming and joining us, buddy.
I appreciate it, Rob. Cole, you guys do a great job. Thank you for everything.
Josh Huff from JH Motorsports, again, a key contributor and a great new team, a new shop down in Southern California. Of course, Josh, trackside at so many events, big part of the Tri-C Karters program and the 206 and the 100cc program down in Southern California. We are rolling through the day, ladies and gentlemen. 2 more categories, Senior Rock and then the combined Mini Rock and Micro Rock classes to cap off pre-qualifying time practice. It's the happy hour here from Sonoma, California. You're listening to the final round of the Challenge of the Americas, live from Sim Raceway Performance Karting Center in Sonoma, California, on the EKN Radio Network.
For over a century, Briggs & Stratton has had a commitment and passion for racing. It's a DNA found in every engine we build today. So whether you kart race, Baja, race quarter midgets, or believe that dirt and snow are just God's way of adding to the challenge, the dedicated spirit of every Briggs & Stratton employee stands at the fence waiting for the green flag to drop. Briggs & Stratton Racing. What powers you?
eKartingNews.com fans love handling and performance, and the all-season high-performance Cooper Xeon RS3 G1 delivers both. The Cooper Xeon RS3 G1 is an exciting new all-season high-performance tire designed to look great and perform even better. It offers stability, control, and exceptional grip and traction in wet or dry conditions. Visit us online at coopertire.com for more information, or see a Cooper Tire dealer near you for details on the Cooper Xeon RS3 G1.
The Rod Cup USA Kart Racing Series is a division of the internationally recognized Rock Cup Racing program powered by the Vortex Engine Package. The program promotes parity within the classes, and the parent series, Rock Cup, is an FIA-authorized international series with a 15-year history in over 32 different countries. Powered by the Vortex Engine platform, Rock Cup USA offers a competitive racing package throughout its promoted series including the Florida Winter Tour, rock festivals, Rock the Rio, Challenge of the Americas, and a flourishing regional club program throughout the United States and multiple Canadian series. All the best rockers from around the world have the opportunity to take part in the prestigious Rock Cup International Final, an international event that crowns global rock champions. In 2017, the Rock Cup International Final had a record number of countries represented, 49 from 5 continents, and saw 415 rockers take to the grid. Rock Cup International Final tickets will be awarded at the Florida Winter Tour, Challenge of the Americas, and the Rock Festival. For more information on Rock Cup USA, please visit www.rockcupusa.com.
Since 2003, K1 Race Gear has been a one-stop shop for all your indoor and outdoor karting needs. From racing shoes, suits, and driving gloves to chest protectors, rib vests, accessories, and bags, K1 Race Gear provides quality karting products for the enthusiast and the professional alike. We have an incredible lineup of K1 karting suits designed to fit everyone's budget. Check out our entry-level GK2, the new Apex 2, and our top-of-the-line Speed 1 suit. Then, choose from our Apex and RS1 karting gloves and add in our K1 shoes, rib protectors, and neck collars. If you need a custom suit to support your sponsors, we can create a custom look as unique as you are. As you would expect, our custom suits are made to order. With pricing as low as $495, you're sure to find a suit that not only satisfies your racing needs, but is easy on the wallet as well. We take care of all of our customers at K1 Race Gear, not just the ones with deep pockets. Visit K1RaceGear.com today and get everything you need for your next racing season. If your dream is IndyCar, set your sights on the Mazda Road to Indy presented by Cooper Tires. The first step of the ladder system is the Cooper Tires USF 2000 Championship powered by Mazda, which prepares young drivers for the calculated jump to the Pro Mazda Championship presented by Cooper Tires, where increased power, grip, and aero downforce fast-track your training. The final rung is the Indy Lights presented by Cooper Tires program. The last 4 Indy Lights champions will be racing in the Verizon IndyCar Series this year, so it's a proven formula. At all 3 levels, you will race at premier venues on the same weekends as IndyCar. Showcase your skills under the watchful eyes of IndyCar scouts and owners. Former karters fill the roster of Mazda Road to Indy graduates like Spencer Piggott, Gabby Chavez, Zach Veach, Ed Jones, and 2017 Indy Lights champion Kyle Kaiser. Recent karting graduates like Oliver Askew are in the middle of their journeys as well. Follow in their footsteps. Fulfill your dream. If you want to race IndyCar, there is only one choice. The Mazda Road to Indy, presented by Cooper Tires.
After taking on the highly anticipated Florida Winter Tour, remaining promoted events by Rock Cup USA include the Rock Festivals and Rock the Rio event. In May, join us at the NOLA Rock Festival at NOLA Motorsports Park in Avondale, Louisiana. It's set for May 17th through 20th. The NOLA Festival will see the rockers take to one of the best facilities in the country and undoubtedly a race favorite. The second Rock Festival will be at Oakland Valley Raceway Park in Cuddybackville, New York, and will take place July 19th through the 22nd. Full podiums at both events will receive Rock the Rio entry, while race winners at the OVRP Festival will also receive coveted Rock International Finals tickets, provided they participated in both festivals. The crown jewel of the 2018 schedule will see the rockers from around the world descend on the fabulous city of Las Vegas at the Rio All-Suite Casino and Hotel. The first annual Rock the Rio event will award upwards of $35,000 in cash over the 7 rock classes. For more information on all Rock Cup USA promoted events, please visit www.rockcupusa.com.
Now back to turn-by-turn coverage of the Challenge of the Americas finale, live from the Cooper Tire Broadcast Center at the Sim Raceway Performance Karting Center, brought to you by Rock Cup USA, Briggs & Stratton, and K1 Race Gear.
Back to live coverage here trackside at Sonoma, California. Rob Howden alongside David Cole. The happy hour here on the EKN Radio Network. We use today to get things dialed in with the audio systems at the tracks that we visit throughout the season. Again, the EKN Trackside Live Tour presented by Cooper Tires. 26 races on the docket here for 2018. I go on a pretty good run of events after this one. Next 6 or 7 weekends, tossing in some Mazda Road to Indy and Verizon IndyCar Series races as well. We'll be, of course, at the SCUSA Spring Nationals in Phoenix in May. Heading up to the Can-Am Karting Challenge as well. David Cole rolling out to a WK Manufacturers Cup race. A lot of great events coming up throughout the season here on the EKN Trackside Live Tour. Again, big thanks to Cooper Tires for coming on board as our presenting sponsor. Just getting things going here in the VME Kart Senior Rock category. We'll try to get another guest in here to join us here before we're done for the day. Rawlison Performance Group's Mike Rawlison will join us. Chat a little bit about the Rawlison Performance Group and how things are going. Ryan Tate with the fastest lap so far here, a 50.520, working lap number 4, quarter of the way into this 20-minute session. Tate in the 344, 50.5, 7/100ths of a second quicker than Hurricane Hannah. Hannah Greenmeyer in the number 308, driver to Parco, Colorado. It was snowing this morning when they left Colorado, flew here to San Francisco. Quick drive up to Sonoma, California. Missed a session, and away she goes. Greenmeyer, P2. Bajoy Garg now third. Michael Avancino in the 4th spot. Filip Dimkevich in 5th. Christopher Martin in 6th spot. Hunter Kelly in 7th. Antonio De Lee 8th. Nathan Martin in 9th. And Jake Drew rounding out your top 10. Greenmeyer now goes to P1. Hannah Greenmeyer to the top of the charts, a 50.427. 50.427 now, 9/100ths of a second quicker than Ryan Tate. Lap 6, the best for Greenmeyer. 13 drivers in the field here this weekend. Top 10 within a tenth or within a second. Just a couple laps in the books for Jake Drew, expecting him to work his way up the ranks as well. Good cross-section of chassis here this weekend. Got some FAs, got some Kart Republics. Got a Praga out there. A couple of Pragas, I think. Of course, a number of Tony Karts, as we see regularly here at the Challenge of the Americas. Greenmeyer still on top, 50.427. Ryan Tate, Michael Avancino, and Filip Dimkevich turn their fastest laps on lap number 6, 4, and 7 this last time by. Start seeing some action down here on pit lane as well. Here comes first and foremost the number 357. That's Nathan Martin out of Colorado rolling in here. 51.548, the best lap for Nathan Martin so far, 1.1 seconds back. Ryan Tate goes back to the top of the charts in that number 344. 50.386 for Ryan Tate. Checking out the drivers that are hooked up together on the track. Number 310 of Jensen Altsman right there with Hannah Greenmeyer. Greenmeyer actually behind Altsman. Jake Drew just a couple laps. Looking to see if Drew's in pit lane here right now, but I don't see him anywhere. Could be Drew coming down pit lane right now in the 329. Indeed it is. Here comes Jake Drew in the 329. Put 3 laps in the books, 51.558. His best lap, 1.1 back. Bajoy Garg now up into the 3rd spot, 50.441 for Bajoy. Top 4 drivers, Tate, Greenmeyer, Garg, and Avancino separated by 59. thousandths of a second. Not even 600ths separating first, second, third, and fourth. Another 3/10 back to Nimkevich in fifth, Altsman sixth, Martin seventh, McKinney eighth. Jim McKinney, your point leader, in the eighth spot. Hunter Kelly now in ninth, and Antonio DeLee rounding out the top 10. One more class left to come. Actually, one more race group left to come. Let's say that combined micro and mini rock category coming up next to cap off Friday's action, cap off our happy hour here on the EKN Radio Network. Again, big thank you to our broadcast partners here this weekend, K1 Race Gear, Briggs & Stratton, and Rock Cup USA. Again, I'll be broadcasting all weekend long from the Cooper Tire Broadcast Center. Excited to go wheel-to-wheel racing tomorrow. Even more excited for Sunday to find out who our champions will be here on the Challenge of the Americas in 2018. Jim McKinney comes into this event as the point leader by 106 points over Bailey Murphy, who is not here, did not make the trek from Phoenix. Jensen Altsman back by 118 points, and Antonio DeLee by 158. Jake Drew by 186. Remember, Drew perfect at Cal Speed. Almost no chance for Jake to win this championship, although we'll see how it all shakes down when it's all said and done. McKinney needs to find some speed here. You never know what's going to happen. Drew's got to be quick. Bajoy Garg now to the top of the charts. Impressive, 50.286 for Garg. Driver the 306. In comes McKinney. In comes Brody Schuchard as well. Schuchard in the top 5 in points right now, currently P5. I said Jake Drew would come into pit lane. Still down there. They'll just get the starter in there and refire him up. Jake Drew heading back out onto the racetrack. Bajoy Garg quicker again. 50.243. 50.285 for Avancino. 42 thousandths of a second separate first and second. Another 10th back to Ryan Tate. And Hannah Greenmeyer, third and fourth. Tate third, Hannah Greenmeyer fourth. Less than 2/10 separate your top 4 drivers. In comes the 344 now of Ryan Tate on the FA. Jake Drew back onto the racetrack. 342 ITAL course of Hunter Kelly coming into pit lane here. An issue potentially with the power plant there. Hunter Kelly's fast lap on lap number 7, a 51.168. More drivers into pit lane, the 301 and the 303. That's Philip Nimkevich in the 301 and Chris Martin in the 303. Both those drivers on the Kart Republic for Performance Kart Sport. Bajoy Garg quicker again here on lap number 12, 50.220. A 50.220, your quick time thus far in VME Kart Senior Rock pre-qualifying. The 306 of Garg into pit lane. Garg in the 306, 50.220. Expecting to see a better lap time out of Jake Drew. Last time by, lap 5, his best of 51.195. Now back by just about a second. About 7 minutes remaining in this 20-minute hot pit session. 324 Michael Avancino down pit lane in the Formula K. Drew works his way through tic-tac-toe on the Ricardo. Rolling some speed into the final corner on the racetrack, turn number 12. Coming back across start-finish again. Jake Drew now up into the 8th position, back by 0.8 of a second. 51.029 for Drew on the Ricardo. Burrell manufactured Ricciardo chassis for Formula One driver Daniel Ricciardo. Good to see Daniel actually joining the Phil Giebler racing crew at Cal Speed earlier this year. Jensen Button was there as well for his birthday. Great to see a couple of Formula One drivers back there into their roots. I remember actually when I first started as a journalist in karting, going to the North American Karting Championships at Charlotte, where they had the big dirt race out back. There was the Briggs & Stratton 300 pavement race on the front straightaway using the pit lane, that small oval that the Legend and Bandolero cars use at Charlotte. There was, of course, the big race on the track itself, the full Charlotte track. The road course track there was a major WK road race event, and then the North American Karting Championships was an unbelievable international level Formula A, JICA. We also had the Formula C World Championships there, I believe, in 1998. But I remember seeing Jensen Button run there. I think he was on a Techno back in those days. Exciting to watch those drivers in Formula A, Super A. Those were good days at the NAKC. Bajoy Garg, as I said, he went quicker on lap number 12 and headed to pit lane. Jake Drew trying to find a way now by the 3:03 of Chris Martin. Every lap by, Drew goes a bit quicker. 51.022 now. Bajoy Garg up top. 5 minutes remaining in the session. Michael Afonsino in second. Ryan Tate in third. Hannah Greenmeyer fourth. Philip Niemkiewicz in fifth spot. Jensen Altsman in sixth. Chris Martin seventh. Jake Drew eighth. Jim McKinney ninth. And Antonio Daly in 10th. So your two drivers really with a good shot at winning this championship. Currently 8th and 9th. Drew and McKinney. McKinney likely just needs a decent event in the opening round tomorrow here of this weekend to lock the championship. Drew would have to win both. He'd have to get pole, win the heat race, and win the main. The most he can come up with is 480 points. I believe McKinney already with 426, so essentially McKinney only needs not even 60 points. 51 points? Or 51 points. Indeed, 51 points would give McKinney what he needs to win the championship. 481 points, as I said. Best that Jake Drew could do if he sweeps will be 480. 240 from Cal Speed for a sweep of that weekend. Another sweep will put him at 480. So a 55 points. Trying to do the math here. David, you're the one with the degree in math. Use your calculator, he says. I'm trying to do it on the fly, man. McKinney dominated the opening round in Phoenix, his home track. Swept just like Drew did at Cal Speed. Garg, Avancino, Greenmeyer, Tate, Niemkiewicz, your top five. Altsman in sixth. Jake Drew up into seventh. Have a quick look out on the track to see if he's indeed potentially been able to get by Chris Martin. If he gets some open racetrack, maybe Drew will lay one down here for us to make it exciting up top. Right now, though, Bajoy Garg in the 3:06 back on the racetrack after making some adjustments. Yeah, here comes Drew again. He's got the open track now, and he'll jump another spot. He'll turn his quick lap on lap number 11, moving to P6, back by just 0.4 of a second. 50.661 now for Jake Drew. Like Drew trying to close up on Jensen Altsman, I believe, in the 3:10. Either Jensen Altsman or Philip Niemkiewicz. The 3:10 or the 3:01. Actually, it's McKinney in the 3:19. Yeah, these numbers still aren't easy to pick up. 301, 319, 310, all pretty similar. Drew just right up on McKinney like nothing. Gets a better run coming out of tic-tac-toe. Doesn't quite make the move to the inside of turn number 12. Final corner here at the top of the hill. He'll go to the inside coming down the kink, though. McKinney will let him go to the inside. Greenmeyer turns her quickest lap here on lap number 13. She does a 50.301. Greenmeyer now just 0.8 of a second back. 0.08 of a second back, pardon me. Wow. Top three drivers separated by just over 0.08 of a second. Let me scroll down and see how we are here with the whole field. Wow, 12 drivers within a second. All right, lots of open racetrack now for Jake Drew. He's been able to get by McKinney, as we said. See if Jake can throw a couple down here to lay some speed on, make some exciting news for us here. If he sweeps the day tomorrow, we'll be seeing where McKinney finishes. Coming around to cap off this session for the drivers in VME Senior Rock, the VME kart-sponsored category. 5 seconds away from seeing that checkered flag fly, and it's waving here at start-finish. This will be it for Jake Drew. Does he head to pit lane, or has he got one more? Now he's going to roll some more speed through the final corners. Does Drew show us anything here in the final lap? He does not. 50.661 his best. Chris Martin actually goes his quickest, 50.940. So does Avancino. Michael Avancino in the Formula K, number 324. P2 cuts it down to 0.03 of a second. Make that 19 thousandths of a second between first and second. Hannah Greenmeyer goes to P2 on her final lap. 0.03 of a second separating first, second, and third. Bajoy Garg, Hannah Greenmeyer, and Michael Avancino all within 0.03 of a second. Ryan Tate in fourth, Philip Niemkiewicz in fifth, Jake Drew sixth, seventh is Jensen Alsman, eighth is Chris Martin, ninth Antonio De Lee, and Jim McKinney rounding out your top 10, about 0.8 of a second back. Lots of work to be done by a number of these drivers deeper in the field. But up front, top three drivers showing good speed. Garg, Greenmeyer, and Avancino. But remember, this is just time qualifying, pre-qualifying rather. This doesn't mean anything right now. Qualifying tomorrow morning is when we get it all rolling. Senior Rock on track at 11 a.m. tomorrow morning. Qualifying starting at 10 o'clock with the drivers in the Rock Shifter category. 5 down, 1 to go. Just one more race group still to come. Mini Rock and Micro Rock to cap off pre-qualifying time practice from Sonoma. You're listening to the final round of the Challenge of the Americas, live from Sim Raceway Performance Karting Center in Sonoma, California, on the EKN Radio Network.
After taking on the highly anticipated Florida Winter Tour, remaining promoted events by Rock Cup USA include the Rock Festivals and Rock the Rio event. In May, join us at the NOLA Rock Festival at NOLA Motorsports Park in Avondale, Louisiana. It's set for May 17th through 20th. The NOLA Festival will see the Rockers take to one of the best facilities in the country and undoubtedly a race favorite. The second Rock Festival will be at Oakland Valley Raceway Park in Cuddybackville, New York, and will take place July 19th through the 22nd. Full podiums at both events will receive Rock the Rio entry, while race winners at the OVRP Festival will also receive coveted Rock International Finals tickets, provided they participated in both festivals. The crown jewel of the 2018 schedule will see the Rockers from around the world descend on the fabulous city of Las Vegas at the Rio All-Suite Casino and Hotel. The first annual Rock the Rio event will award upwards of $35,000 in cash over the 7 rock classes. For more information on all Rock Cup USA promoted events, please visit www.rockcupusa.com.
eKartingNews.com fans love handling and performance, and the all-season high-performance Cooper Xeon RS3 G1 delivers both. The Cooper Xeon RS3 G1 is an exciting new all-season high-performance tire designed to look great and perform even better. It offers stability, control, and exceptional grip and traction in wet or dry conditions. Visit us online at coopertire.com for more information, or see a Cooper Tire dealer near you for details on the Cooper Xeon RS3 G1.
For over a century, Briggs & Stratton has had a commitment and passion for racing. It's a DNA found in every engine we build today. So whether you kart race, Baja, race quarter midgets, or believe that dirt and snow are just God's way of adding to the challenge, the dedicated spirit of every Briggs & Stratton employee stands at the fence waiting for the green flag to drop. Briggs & Stratton Racing. What powers you?
Since 2003, K1 Race Gear has been a one-stop shop for all your indoor and outdoor karting needs. From racing shoes, suits, and driving gloves to chest protectors, rib vests, accessories, and bags, K1 Race Gear provides quality karting products for the enthusiast and the professional alike. We have an incredible lineup of K1 karting suits designed to fit everyone's budget. Check out our entry-level GK2, the new Apex 2, and our top-of-the-line Speed 1 suit. Then, choose from our Apex and RS1 karting gloves and add in our K1 shoes, rib protectors, and neck collars. If you need a custom suit to support your sponsors, we can create a custom look as unique as you are. As you would expect, our custom suits are made to order. With pricing as low as $495, you're sure to find a suit that not only satisfies your racing needs, but is easy on the wallet as well. We take care of all of our customers at K1 Race Gear, not just the ones with deep pockets. Visit K1RaceGear.com today and get everything you need for your next racing season. If your dream is IndyCar, set your sights on the Mazda Road to Indy presented by Cooper Tires. The first step of the ladder system is the Cooper Tires USF 2000 Championship powered by Mazda, which prepares young drivers for the calculated jump to the Pro Mazda Championship presented by Cooper Tires, where increased power, grip, and aero downforce fast-track your training. The final rung is the Indy Lights presented by Cooper Tires program. The last 4 Indy Lights champions will be racing in the Verizon IndyCar Series this year, so it's a proven formula. At all 3 levels, you will race at premier venues on the same weekends as IndyCar. Showcase your skills under the watchful eyes of IndyCar scouts and owners. Former karters fill the roster of Mazda Road to Indy graduates like Spencer Piggott, Gabby Chavez, Zach Veach, Ed Jones, and 2017 Indy Lights champion Kyle Kaiser. Recent karting graduates like Oliver Askew are in the middle of their journeys as well. Follow in their footsteps. Fulfill your dream. If you want to race IndyCar, there is only one choice. The Mazda Road to Indy, presented by Cooper Tires.
The Rock Cup USA Kart Racing Series is a division of the internationally recognized Rock Cup racing program powered by the Vortex engine package. The program promotes parity within the classes, and the parent series, Rock Cup, is an FIA-authorized international series with a 15-year history in over 32 different countries. Powered by the Vortex engine platform, Rock Cup USA offers a competitive racing package throughout its promoted series, including the Florida Winter Tour, Rock Festivals, Rock the Rio, Challenge of the Americas, and a flourishing regional club program throughout the United States and multiple Canadian series. All the best rockers from around the world have the opportunity to take part in the prestigious Rock Cup International Final, an international event that crowns global rock champions. In 2017, the Rock Cup International Final had a record number of countries represented, 49 from 5 continents, and saw 415 rockers take to the grid. Rock Cup International Final tickets will be awarded at the Photo Winter Tour, Challenge of the Americas, and the Rock Festival. For more information on Rock Cup USA, please visit www.rockcupusa.com.
Now back to turn-by-turn coverage of the Challenge of the Americas finale, live from the Cooper Tire Broadcast Center at the Sim Raceway Performance Karting Center, brought to you by Rock Cup USA, Briggs & Stratton, and K1 Race Gear.
And we're back live in what is a little bit of a windy Sonoma right now as the breeze is picking up a bit here in the afternoon, 4:38 local time at Sim Raceway Performance Karting Center. Rob Howden alongside David Coles. We continue to bring you live happy hour coverage of pre-qualifying time practice here. The final rounds of this year's Challenge of the Americas, the 11th season of this great winter program. Of course, first season with the Rock Cup power plant. And again, definitely lots of, trepidation in terms of what kind of numbers we were going to get coming out of the box with a complete change in the power plants. We saw a good increase of numbers from race number 1 to race number 2. And then race number 3 here, expecting potentially to get over the 90 mark. Not quite. I believe we ended up with about 86 entries, confirming that with Shelby Jocelyn. Indeed, 86 entries here for the finale at Sonoma. Of course, championships up for grabs, as are tickets to the Rock Cup International Final. That event in October in South Garda. Onto the track now for our final session of the day. APM Racing Mini Rock and Go-Kart Hero Micro Rock. We do want to thank our broadcast partners here this weekend as part of the ECAN Radio Network and the Trackside Live Tour. Of course, we'll broadcast here all weekend long, do the play-by-play from the Cooper Tire Broadcast Center. Our partners for this particular episode, this particular event on the EKN Trackside Live Tour, K1 Race Gear, Briggs & Stratton, and Rock Cup USA. It's going to be an interesting weekend in terms of weather. We've been, of course, keeping an eye on what we're going to see here in terms of temps. Pretty good day today, actually. We got into the low 70s, 69 degrees ambient temperature now. High of, I believe, 70. Still being cold. We're getting a little warmer before the end of today. Tomorrow, about the same, 71 and sun. We're all wondering what's going to happen here on Sunday, though. Championship Sunday. They are calling for potential of rain, and it's going to be a lot cooler as well. A high of 60, what they're saying right now for Sunday. We'll cross our fingers that gets pushed off to Monday. We'd love to have some dry racing, but I know it'll be dry here in the booth, so if it rains on Sunday, it will be interesting because we always talk about the rain being the great equalizer and how it really kind of changes things in terms of driver, because it's all about the driver at that point. It's all about that right foot, modulating the throttle, and being really precise on your steering inputs. The rain would definitely make things interesting. It could throw a bit of a change in as well. Andy Say's been saying he's a master in the rain. I love running in the rain. That's one of the things that I'll talk to all the drivers, ask whether or not they like racing in the rain. If you don't like racing in the rain, you're not going to be very good at it. Or maybe you just don't like rain because you're not very good at it. But it's the drivers who really love it, want to get out there in the wet, in that different conditions, the really technical. You got to be so precise. I love driving in the rain. I think it's a lot of fun. And, again, just trying to keep that car and get as much forward bite as you possibly can out of the corners. That may come on Sunday. It may not. We may find ourselves with another beautiful California day, and that would do me just fine as well. Let's have a look now. We are about 8 minutes, maybe 7.5 minutes into this session. Chase Gardner on top now in the 103, the VME driver out of Prosper, Texas, currently P1 by about 0.4 of a second. So dominant so far for Gardner, 57.275 his best lap. Rye Myers in second in the number 160, 57.714. Again, always watching the championship in these categories to find out what kind of is going to shake down. Chase Gardner is your point leader coming in. I know Parker DeLong not here this weekend. Logan Toke definitely in the position to take the fight to Gardner. He is in second spot, back by just 36 points, and that's not counting the drop either. Chase Gardner on top, again 8 minutes into this 20-minute session. Rye Myers in second. Steven Eisert in the number 139 in third. Logan Toke, the current second-place driver in the point standings, the number 157 top cart. P4 just turned his fast lap on lap number 7, a 57.840, back by just over a half a second. Ethan Nascimento on the VME in the number 121 now in fifth. AJ Zarcone in the 113 in sixth. Patrick Molnar in the 111 in seventh. Mac Pankowitz in eighth in the number 117. Tuesday Calderwood and Christian Cameron rounding out your top 10. 11th is Ryan Castles. And then we have our three Micro Rock drivers. And that'll be Nico Sarfati. Nico Sarfati, and Gage Jarvis. I thought it was three. It's actually just two. Two drivers, Nico Sarfati and Gage Jarvis. Currently in 13th and 14th overall, a 103.7 for Sarfati, a 103.8 for Jarvis. Chase Gardner leading the way, as I said, about 0.4 of a second. Gardner over Swan, Eisert, Toke, and Nascimento. Coming away to the halfway point here in our last session of the day. APM Racing, the sponsor of the Mini Rock Class. Go-Kart Hero, sponsor of Micro. Again, for those of you listening live here on the ECAN Radio Network, we're thankful that you're tuned in. Hope you dial us in here for the weekend as well. You can do it on your laptop, of course, at ekartingnews.com/live. If you've got the mobile device, you can download the Mixlr app, mixlr.com, and look up eKarting News. Or, actually, you can just dial us right in through the mobile website as well, and just look for the ECAN Live page, and that'll allow you to click on the button to get the live broadcast going. We are definitely working on getting an app put together that will allow you just a one-stop shop to be able to listen to all our EKN Live coverage. Look for that later on here in the 2018 season. We are now past the halfway point, 9.5 minutes remaining. Gardner, Swan, Eisert, Toke, and Nascimento still your top five. Zarcone, Molnar, Pankowitz, Calderwood, and Cameron capping off your top 10. Enzo Swan rolling into pit lane. Swan on the Bennick in the number 114, driver out of Centennial, California. Chase Gardner still leading the way. Just about 8 minutes remaining in this session. Chase Gardner leading the way. Enzo Swan in second. Steven Eisert in that third spot. Logan Toke fourth. Ethan Nascimento rounding out your top five. Again, just about 8 minutes to go, and we'll cap things off for the happy hour here on the EKN Radio Network. But a quick interview, quick chat with Mike Rollison.
Hi, Rob. How are you?
I got a smile out of you, at least coming in here all grumpy and tired. You know what? You know what the difference is? You had to work today. Normally you just, float around, watch what guys do under the RPG tent. It's old school here this weekend. It's just you. It's Hurricane Hannah. It's one go-kart.
That's
a pickup truck.
Yep.
I love it. You get down here having some fun. Now, Hannah really wanted to come and race here this year.
She did. She had her heart set on this track, and this was a bit of a last-minute plan that we put together.
Yeah, of course, Supercars USA moving the race, the Spring Nats to Phoenix. She had to come and race. So
she did.
You guys rented a rock. She's figured out the rock. And to be honest, having to figure out the Bridgestones as well here this weekend.
Yeah, it's a little different.
I would think so, yeah.
She flew in this morning and skipped the first session and got four practices, and she's having a blast.
Good. Hey, the the funny thing is here we are, middle of April, almost right in the middle, April 13th. For all intents and purposes, you've raced enough this year that you've probably equal what most people race all year long. We're 3 months in the first quarter, and you guys have been coast-to-coasting it up and down the West Coast. You've been in Florida. You've been back and forth. You put some miles on the toter for sure. How's the season been so far?
Well, it's been really good. It feels like it's August.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But we did get home. We were on the road for 4 months from December through the end of March. We got home midnight on Easter.
Yeah. Is there a chance for like a serious like bear hibernation here, or like a 4 or 5 day deep sleep REM cycle?
Yes,
or what?
Yeah, we do have that probably in about 20 years.
Can't wait for the light at the end of the tunnel. Hey, listen, let's look at some of the highlights for Rawlson Performance Group. We go to all the major national events, in the regional events too. You guys have really become a force on the California Pro Kart Challenge, of course, up in the Pacific Northwest as well. Just a lot of great events that you guys run. You guys are national and regional. Let's have a look at some of the highlights. Before we went on here, David Cole and I and yourself talking about Graham Trammell, a young driver I got a chance to watch last year at Can-Am. Man, 2 for 2 this year in the Pro Kart Challenge, the California Pro Kart Challenge. That's gonna be a smiling young kid right now, probably.
Yeah, he's turning it up.
What is that? Is that like, I know you've worked with him from the get-go. Is it a light bulb moment? Is it just little, is it just little bits of up the steps, or what?
It's a lot of little steps, and it's a lot of practice.
Yeah, it is. You guys lead follow with him. You push him hard in terms of just getting the seat time, right?
All of the above.
I know you and I've had that conversation before when anybody will come and talk to you. Hey, what have I got to do? What can we buy something? Do I need another motor? My motor's not fast enough. What do we do? And I know you and I have talked, and it's just, listen, you got to get this kid in this seat all the time. If you're a hockey player, you're skating all the time, right? Power skating, blah blah blah. You can't buy faster skates. You just got to drive.
Correct. And when we look at some of the national level races, the fact is that you can go down the grid, and you know this as well as I do. Everyone has good equipment there.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone has a strong engine. Yeah. Everyone has knowledgeable people around them, a good chassis. So that doesn't matter. There has to be something else that separates you from the rest of them.
Well, and so what is that then? It's obviously seat time. You can have crappy seat time. David Cole can go drive hours and hours on end. He's not going to get any better. It's about sorry, Dave. See, look at his face. It was honestly, he was almost sad. I could see it. It was a dejection almost. Seat time's going to make a big deal. The coaching's right there as well. Racecraft is something it's obviously the hot button we've really pushed on e-karting news. When you're teaching racecraft to your kids, it's about respect. I think obviously respect's that underlying thing that can help any kind of racecraft in a decision making. But it really is teaching them the fundamentals of how to make a pass, what the racing line is, right? Isn't it? It's how to manage your race distance as well.
Sure. And as we get into the different categories of karting over the last, 10 years, where the engine parity gets better and better, and then you've got 10 or 15 kart lead group, straightaway passes are harder and harder to come by.
One of the things I thought, of course, it's you've got to set up. You're just like incrementally trying to set up a pass, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. You've got to figure out how to pass going into a turn, taking away the driver in front of you, take away their line. Anyone. My grandma can make a straightaway pass.
That's right. The push to pass. And I say this all the time. You'll hear on the mic. I've said it a lot. I say it when I'm doing the road to Indy races too. If you own the apex, you own the exit, right? And that's the key. Get into the apex. You'll watch so many of these kids go through and they try to make that deep move and they blow through. They didn't need to blow through. All they need to do is make sure that guy's on the outside so that they can control the apex, the exit.
That's the art of racing.
It is. And that's the art of racing. It's a beautiful thing when it's done correctly.
Exactly.
What as an educator, as a coach, I like to use the word educator because it's true. As an educator, is it a light bulb moment you see in some of these kids, or is it more of a long-term goal, like a macro kind of thing, where you've really got to work on developing it? Or do some kids have the light bulb? Well, wow, okay, I get it now.
Definitely. I mean, it's different for every driver, but certainly we can name some drivers over the years where it's like a switch was flipped, and holy smokes, they're on the scene. Whatever track we're at, East Coast, West Coast, whatever tire compound or engine.
Doesn't matter.
They're quick.
Yeah.
And for a lot of drivers, it's like a set of stairs. They'll take a huge step and, then just slowly getting better and better, and then another big step. And the goal is to never stop learning, right? Always looking for that next step.
Wow, another life lesson. We talk about life lessons, right? The respect on the racetrack. You have respect for people in your life and business. Another life lesson. You never really do stop learning. Let's have a quick look. We got 2 minutes left, and we'll come back to Mike Rawlson from the Rawlson Performance Group. Chase Gardner still on top by 0.4 of a second over Enzo Swan. They're putting lots of laps in, 13, 14, 15 laps for the guys up top. Stephen Eisert in third, Logan Token fourth, Ethan Nascimento still in that fifth spot. AJ Zarcone, 6th. Patrick Molnar, 7th. Max Pankowitz just turned his quickest lap on lap 16. He's 8th. Tuesday, Calderwood, 9th, and Christian Cameron rounding out the top 10. You know, I was a ski instructor for a number of years when I was younger, and one of the things that my lead instructor, my mentor, taught me was the fact that kids learn in different ways. They want to be shown, and they want to be described. And there's some people really want to be able to see it first. Some of them you have to describe. You have to actually explain it before it's just different kids. The other thing that's interesting, of course, you nodded your head immediately there, is finding the language to talk to a kid. And I think skiing's a little different because you can have them right beside you. It's almost like a lead follow. They're able to see it. They're able to feel it if they're young. When they're between your legs and you're kind of holding on to them and getting them to feel, getting the edge to bite. How's that work for you when you're? Because the language is so important, the communication between a driver and a mechanic, whether they're in karts or they go all the way to IndyCar, to that and their engineer, developing a language and a communication, it must be tough, but ultimately rewarding.
Exactly. I mean, it's very difficult. One of the things that we're doing with drivers from all different experience levels is constantly developing their vocabulary. Yeah. And as you're bringing up a driver, I might be explaining something to a driver. They're listening and they're nodding their head, but they might not fully understand.
Yeah, there's no connection there.
It's not for a lack of effort.
Of course.
It's simply because the way that I explained it didn't fully get through to them. So you've got to come up with a different way to explain it. You've got to sit down with them and find a different way to explain that feel or that edge that you were talking about.
It's connecting. You'll get a kid, when you ask him how it feels, the first thing he says is it's weird. But you have to turn weird into it's doing this at the exit or this at the entry, or when I'm turning it, it's doing this, because weird isn't going to work for you, right?
My favorite is the drivers come in and I say, how was that change? It was good.
Thanks a lot for that, right? It was good. It was good.
Yeah, that doesn't cut it.
It doesn't cut it. I remember reading an article in Stock Car Racing magazine where somebody, I can't remember who, it might have been one of the top guys, a stock car guy, had said, talking about chassis setup, but he says, if your paid driver ever comes in and tells you the car is perfect, you fire him. Yeah. Because he hasn't driven hard enough into the corner, because it's going to do something. Whatever you do, the hardest you drive into the corner, it's either going to be pushing, at the very least. It's going to push or it's going to be loose.
I've heard
oversteer, understeer, right?
Yeah, I've heard very successful kart racers and different racers say they've never had a perfect kart.
Yeah.
Or car. Maybe once.
Yeah, exactly, right? Let's really quickly, as the checkered flag flies, Chase Gardner is on top. He ends up the session P1, 0.4 of a second quicker than Enzo Swan. Stephen Eisert, Logan Toke, and Ethan Nascimento. That caps off our racing action from Sonoma here at the happy hour here on the EKN Radio Network. Let's wrap up with Mike Carlson as well. Dude, you're doing a fantastic job. Relax. You're good. You're good. We have a vocabulary. We're doing all right. It's got to be rewarding. I know that people don't know. Not everybody knows this about me, but in my early years before I became a journalist, I was a kindergarten teacher at one point, and I worked with the kids skiing as young as 2.5 up to 5, 6 years of age. I raced as a skier as well. But there's that. It's so rewarding. You get that reward when that light bulb does come off, or the language does start to develop, where you actually begin the communication. It's really fruitful.
Absolutely. Or you have a driver that has been gaining that vocabulary, has been understanding the feel, and they go out and have a breakthrough weekend where they are climbing through the pack and they're running up front. Everything clicked. And
using the knowledge that you have given them.
Sure, and
right?
and the hard work that they've put in.
True.
And the sacrifice and the homework on airplanes and missing school and all the different things that many of these drivers out here do.
So much success for Rawlson Performance Group over the years. Again, we already talked about Graham Trammell. You look back at how the season's gone so far, Q1, the first quarter of the year. Are you happy with the way things have gone? You won a bunch of races in Florida. You're winning on the California Pro Kart Challenge as well. It's going pretty damn good. You got some good drivers in your Masters classes, too, and S4.
Yeah, I'm very happy. Of course, I'm not satisfied, but very happy. Our seniors are strong. Hannah had a breakthrough weekend.
No doubt.
We were just talking about in New Orleans.
In New Orleans, wow.
And Sam is doing well, Sam Lupian.
Yep.
Our junior drivers that just moved up from cadet are learning the ropes of junior, some of them the hard way. Right.
That's working up a weight class, isn't it? People look at that and say, man, this kid's a monster in mini. He's going to be so good when he makes the move to junior. Well, it's still a big step because you get those 2-3 year juniors who are unbelievably good.
Absolutely. And for some of our juniors, the speed is there, and it is learning the higher weight, right?
Yeah.
Managing the tires, learning the racecraft.
Looking down the line, a lot of racing still to come. And I know we said 20 years down the lines when there's that clearing where you're allowed to breathe a little bit. Do we look as far down as Supernats? Is that even something on your radar right now? I know that you're excited always to go to there with a big crew of guys. Can you even see that down in the distance right now? I know I can't.
Well, I have to.
You do, yeah. Well, I know it's on my schedule. I blocked off the 10 or 12 days I'm going to be there, but it's not. We're not. David and I are talking about production at all yet for that.
Well, some racers, the events in November are such a big deal to them that they're planning for that stuff now. So we have to be thinking about those events and what's coming. And there is about a 10-day break in December that.
Hey, I'll give you a chance here because you got such a great operation. I think the cool thing is I'm fortunate to have David Cole. I got a great guy working for me as well who has the same passion for the sport as I do. You have a bunch of guys like that as well. They're not here. You guys are by yourself this weekend here, but on a regular weekend when Rawlson Performance Group pulls the big tent out and you stack the carts all up, who are the guys that really make it all work for you guys?
Oh, there's so many.
Yeah, there is, isn't there? It's a big team.
I could name a dozen.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the guys that are with us in and out is Wes Boswell, Mike Beanie, Bonner Moulton, Alex Vincent, Aaron Nelliton. Shoot, there's tons. Brandon Gregerson, Joan Texera. There's just
you got
tons of guys.
You got a good crew.
Yeah,
it's it's almost we're in what playoff hockey now. We're into the playoffs for NBA. It's about putting together the right people in the right spots. You don't need to have 5, 6, 7 stars, right? You need to have the right guys at the right time, right? Is that not correct?
Absolutely.
Putting together a team, like building the building blocks to put together a good team.
And it's tough.
It's tough, but the thing is, it's about the passion, right? It's about finding guys dedicated to work as hard as you do, and when you put the bar as high as you do, it's tough to get them to do that, right?
Yeah, the hours are brutal. Let's just be honest.
Living the dream, right?
The hours are tough.
It is.
But it's very rewarding when you get to see a driver take a win or a first win or climb through the pack at a national level event. That makes it worth it.
Hey, have a great weekend with Hannah.
Thank you.
Mike Rawlson, ladies and gentlemen, to cap things off here on the Happy Hour on the EKN Radio Network. Always a pleasure to talk to Mike. Of course, he's here with Hannah Greenmeyer this weekend in that Senior Rock category. We expect them to definitely have a run for the championship in a number of categories, number of series throughout this season. They're definitely going to run for a race win here this weekend. That caps things off here from Sonoma, folks. On behalf of David Cole, my name is Rob Howden. This has been the Happy Hour. We're back Saturday and Sunday. Full coverage here in the EKN Trackside Live Tour, live from the Cooper Tire Broadcast Center here at Sim Raceway Performance Karting Center. You're listening to the final round of the Challenge of the Americas, live from Sim Raceway Performance Karting Center in Sonoma, California, on the EKN Radio Network.